And we are live with Boruto Chapter 16 spoilers. Before that, we have with us Kamui, as always, but that you don't even need me to. And Kido, our actual guest, who isn't a person, who is a podcast host, who would be here anyways. Kido, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you guys?
You
That's
answered the
it. Just
question.
fine. Just nothing more.
I mean,
Nothing more to say.
Aren't
not much to
content
say,
creators
right?
supposed to amplify their attitudes?
Not at 10 p.m.
Let me ask you a question. Have you been standing on business, or have you been incompetent lately?
What do you mean? In what sense?
Well, I thought the question was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, aren't we like speaking your language right now?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a bit lost,
Well, okay, we could go about this several different ways, but another one would be like, do you see yourself as being like Hidari, or would you say that you've been like the B word in your battle approaches, or have you been, standing on business like a man?
What is bro talking about? That is crazy.
Uh,
I guess
Kido,
I guess
mean,
the
if
latter.
it helps, we can frame it another way. What would Mello say about you?
What is
what? So in okay.
That's funny.
With reference to code, would you be compared or contrasted?
Contrasted.
Okay, all right. So
What
you
about
standing on
Kawaki?
business.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you like Kawaki?
No, not like Walky. That's crazy. No.
Okay. So
More
he's
like- more
not
like-
incompetent based off the mellow
No.
scale. Can we say that for not the mellow scale?
I like that. Yeah.
The mellow scale. What are you guys referring
Instead
to?
of power scaling, it's
Is that
mellow
like a-
scaling.
Random things he says. Completely random things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get
Would it be a Walky
Like,
Talky
he likes to
podcast
say,
if we didn't
standing
start
on
with
business
making fun of another
incompetent. We're just
YouTuber?
throwing it together.
Okay, well, fortunately for you, Kido, this is actually a perfect segue into something that we're not going to do right now. But I thought it was so funny that I posted it for something for us to do later. So if everyone will look at my share screen, of which I'm sharing through my share screen, I will go to the topic of Naruto Reacts. And I recently posted a video. Kido, will you please read off the video I posted?
Wait, what?
Is this Mello's alt?
It's gotta be.
Oh, you're sharing your screen.
Yeah. So please go ahead and read off that video.
Mentors stood on business.
Yeah, so
members stood on mentors. Oh, I can't see. Mentors stood on business.
yeah, so we don't have to react to the video, but Kido, while you're here, I'm curious. If you were to theorize, what if? Please take it away.
Do you think it's wasted potential?
What do you mean? In what sense?
In terms of the potential being wasted.
In the sense that they didn't stand on business and they could have.
Yeah, specifically Naruto's mentors. You know, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen. Naruto's mentor. Yeah. You know, the one that didn't stand on business. When he was so treated disrespectfully by dying against Orochimaru, making him look weak because he lost the fight.
Like a beam.
I'm lost, bro.
Well, Kido.
I need my magnesium.
We can always go back to the question: what if Naruto's mentor stood on business? What would happen? How would the story change? And why would it be only better?
I mean, it depends on what you mean by stood on business. They kind of did. From their perspective.
Ooh, but what about from Mello's perspective?
Standing on business. How would you define them standing on business assuming that they didn't do it in this context?
The context being
mean-
Mello's perspective.
I don't. You see, thing is, I don't know what that perspective is, so that's why, I have no idea how to answer that question. So,
Well, if you had to guess, what did Jiraiya, Hiruzen, and Kakashi not do to stand on business?
what you mean, like not take care of Naruto when he was younger, like 12, I mean 10, 8.
Would that be
Take
standing
him
on
in.
business?
I mean, I guess.
Well, but if they're
Protecting him from
taking
the
care of
villagers, but-
Naruto, they don't have a lot of time to go out there and be men. How are they going to be manly?
What kind of man standing on business would just hang around a little kid like that, like a B word?
I mean, I guess you have a point. I guess.
Yeah, seems like wasted potential, huh?
Yeah, true.
Well, maybe getting to some other topics now. We can go to some intro topics. So, Kamui, I feel like this is a strong, solid start to stream. So, Kido, you know
Kido,
those women.
are they standing on business right now?
Who?
Those women. You know them.
Do you not recognize them?
You know them.
Bro, what is this, man? Bro, y'all trying to get demonetized. That is crazy.
Well, we didn't draw it. Kishimoto did.
Oh my goodness. That can't be a panel from the manga, bro.
Well,
That
Kido,
definitely
is your
isn't
heart?
from-
Well, Kido, do you
Going
mind
va-va-boom?
describing us what's going on here?
That's fan art, bro.
Well, can you describe the characters and what they're doing?
I mean, they seem to be partaking in some interesting,
Yeah.
Well, who are
Tough.
these characters?
Because you know them.
I have no idea. I can't recognize a single person on screen.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea.
So, Kido,
I mean,
if
one
you were
looks
to,
like Kakashi.
if you were to, and I hate to be one of those man people over here, but if you were to rate these
Or
women,
is trying to kill my earbuds.
how would you rate
If you were to
them?
rate them from
wouldn't-
least to most waifu material, what order are you going with?
I would never. I would never.
But what if you did?
The if isn't possible.
Can you prove that?
I can prove it by not doing it. If I
Well,
don't do it,
that's
then
not
it
how
isn't
a
possible.
proof would work.
I mean, technically, yeah. If something doesn't happen, that means it can't happen.
Okay, well,
Because
actually,
technically, if it could happen, it would happen, right?
that's a perfect segue,
No.
Kido, into... Well, first of all, I found out that Murphy's Law, translated to Britain, is Sod's Law, which I thought was funny, because Sod is like a word that the British people say, and it just made sense to me. But anyways, so it was the justice word. You used the word justice, and I thought that was a perfect segue
Jesus.
to this. So
I know.
So
Oodie, what's going on with your mic when you do that?
what is? Am I loud? What
kissing the
is?
mic.
What? I don't know. What is happening to my mic? Am I okay? Is am I
It
too
seems
loud?
like you're like putting it inside your mouth sometimes.
I mean, I'll like move it away a little bit. Is this? I don't know. Anyways,
You're fine right now. It's just sometimes it feels like you start swallowing the mic.
okay, I'll try to be careful with that. I guess. Do I have my settings on? My crispiness or whatever. It's echo cancellation is on. It looks like it's all the same. Oh,
We'll let you know if it happens again, and we'll ask you what you did.
okay. What about this? Do you hear me still? Is this better? Did I change it?
Well, we just don't hear you now, so don't do
Yeah.
that one.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out another time. But for now,
Yeah.
I don't ever want Kamui to be a judge ever. This again because Kido said the word justice. I thought that was a perfect segue. So Kamui, in your Orochimaru video, you said
That's not an accurate quote.
It's
That
close enough.
quote
Based on the
as is
information
doesn't
Konoha
exist.
has, Orochimaru is the one most likely to be Boruto's ally.
That's not a quote from the video. That exact quote does not exist.
It's a quote from how I interpreted your video from when you said it.
Okay, that's not a quote then.
Well, it is a quote. It's right here. It's quoted.
It's not quoted by me.
Okay, well, do you want to go pull up the quote? Or do you have the quote?
I mean, I can find it pretty quickly, probably. 1 second.
Because it does seem like a Kamui thing to say. But, Kido, what do you think about that? I feel like that's relevant to Chapter 16.
What I think about Orochimaru is the one most likely to be Boruto's ally.
Yeah, so from Konoha's
Not from the
perspective...
literal perspective, it would be from the Leaf Village perspective.
Yeah.
Let me
Konoha's
find...
perspective.
So from the Leaf Village's perspective, they should imprison
Based off the things
Orochimaru based
Where
on
is this
Kamui's
quote?
logic. Because he's most likely to be
First of
Boruto's
all, I
ally.
can't even find this quote. Is this even in here?
He's
Is that
the
even
from the
prime
audience's
number one
perspective,
suspect
yeah.
with the
No,
information
hold on,
they
hold
have.
on.
You know, all that damning evidence they have on Orochimaru being Boruto's ally? It's enough to throw him away in the slammer for years!
And I'm trying to look for it.
For
Oodie,
years!
I don't think this is in the video.
That guilty,
can't
guilty
find it.
man. I can't believe Orochimaru would betray the Leaf like this.
Well, it wouldn't be betraying the Leaf, actually.
But Kido, what do you think about this?
I mean, no.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
Um,
With me disagreeing with Kamui.
Yeah.
I mean,
who would it
the
be, though?
general
Who they think
point, the general point would be the fact that, well, first of all, if you're going to use the anime into account, the Leaf Village knows that Orochimaru created Mitsuki. Mitsuki shows up, and Boruto starts saying some shit to Mitsuki that only they understand. Nobody else has any idea what the fuck to talk about. Then Mitsuki activates the super secret powerful sage power that's supposed to kick him out of the village if he ever used it in front of everyone. Frees Boruto from his handcuffs. And they have his history of Orochimaru being involved in things and knowing information they don't have and all this stuff. And they don't even trust Orochimaru anyway. If you look at the anime episode, the elders fucking... The first person, they're like, it's Orochimaru, so evil. They don't trust him. Yeah, if they were to pick only one person that they know, Orochimaru probably would be the first person they think of.
Because
has to be someone they know.
Because
Like,
Mitsuki used Sage Mode in private.
It's people that they know.
3 years after that one statement where he's not allowed to use it, he used it in private. Mitsuki used Sage Mode. That's why Orochimaru is the devil.
They already thought he was the devil.
Well, based on that logic, I just throw him in
Even
prison anyways.
Tsunade had the heartfelt conversation with Orochimaru and Shippuden about how he changed and stuff. Still didn't trust him.
Okay.
Naruto
well,
and Sasuke don't trust him either. They see a Shin clone and they're like, Orochimaru, if you're doing bad shit, we're gonna kill you. And he's like, oh, what's the posture for? You know?
What it sounds like is you're saying Shoujoji is objectively correct. Did Kamui found his villain with a point?
Shoujoji's objectively correct.
Oh,
Also,
Kamui found a villain with a point. Let's go. Okay, this is your one. Your hill to die on. Now I have something to overarchingly wise point to.
Well, actually, what is Shoujoji's point, other than the fact that the ninja card thing, yeah, he's got a point, but other than that, what else?
I mean, I guess we could just go look at the thing they say about the brigands, and whatever their thing is, what they want to do.
They just want to steal money, like, they're just being bad guys.
Well, but they
Like,
need money
the only
as well.
point Shojoji had is, why am I not on a ninja card when criminals like Orochimaru are? Like, he's got a point there, but like, that's the only one.
I mean,
I guess you could argue that Orochimaru's being a good guy, that's why he gets to be on there, which Shojoji isn't doing. But
see, I wish they
he has a
delved
point.
more into the Mujina bandits as a whole, not just Shojoji, but the whole bandit organization, because they are very similar to Hinan and like their not goal, but like motivation in a sense.
Well, I mean, this just kind of ties into what we were talking about the other day with the underground thing, with the hypothetical Kari, right?
Yeah.
If you just make the underground like more of a thing, and Kara's just like the mafia leaders, basically, that would just work so that I mean, honestly speaking, I'll add another rewrite question. Should the Mujina bandits either just be outer members of Kara, or should they be like the outer members, outers? In that sense. You get what I'm saying? Like underlings of the outers, or just they are the outers?
They're the outers.
Or should they just be a separate gang? Yeah.
Okay, if we have this, then they're the outers. The inners are the inners. And what we have now as the outers, so people like Ao, are the middlers. They're the in-betweeners.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it. Perfect. Okay. I forget. Did Hidan betray his village to become a rogue nin like Kisame did? Or did he just become a missing nin and then later on just was in the bingo book for being a bad guy?
I don't remember for sure. I've never like paid too much attention, like too close attention to the Hidan stuff, but
Hidan's interesting.
I think he might have started slaughtering villagers in the village, that he just went ahead and started doing his thing.
I think so as well, but was I that is like his like thing, but was it in his village and was he caught for that? And then was he like, how'd he get away? Like I don't remember. Kido, do you remember?
I think he just killed people and laughed. Like, no. I don't think they would have caught him anyway. He would have been the strongest guy.
But it doesn't make sense for him to leave, is the thing.
He just wants to go around. Maybe he killed most of the villagers.
Well, look at the Mirai manga. It's like, you're either captured or killed, or you keep doing it. Like, he wasn't gonna leave.
Well, why would he get captured if he's the strongest guy at the time? Hypothetically. Anyway.
Well, I meant like as a possibility. I'm saying that I don't think he would have just ran away. Like, that's his spot.
I don't think he ran away. I think he just left.
But why? Because again, in the Mirai manga, it's not like it's a one-time... Well, no, but the point is that they're bringing Joshin to the location. They're bringing in people to sacrifice them at that waterfall place where he got the immortality.
He doesn't need to do that after, though. He's already got immortality. Now he can...
It's not about getting the immortality. It's about the religious aspect. He wants to do the Joshin thing. And
and to do the Joshin thing, all he needs to do is kill people. He doesn't
No. I do think it is at the waterfall. It's like a sacred religious location. When he's killing people, it's not for Joshin, it's because they're disbelievers. So he's killing, like, crucifiers, if that makes sense.
No, they are sacrifices for Joshin. He says it 1,000,000 times to Kakuzu.
Yes, but it's different.
I don't think Hidan cares or needs to do the waterfall thing ever again after the first time he gets immortality.
I completely disagree based on what we've seen.
I mean, we could just check the data book and see what it says.
I mean,
/ whatever the Akatsuki he did novel.
It just seems like he really wants to go after the non-believers. Because it's like a sin in his religion to not believe in Joshin.
Just see what it says in the data book real quick.
What are you saying? Okay, chapter 16. Enough with the stupid Hidan nonsense. Kido, what'd you think? Okay, you guys talk about spoilers. I'm gonna, like, get up and Kamui text me when you're good. Is that a good time for that?
Wait, what?
Or just don't be gone for long because there's not going to be that much to say.
I mean, yeah, just let me know, and then I'll be checking. There you
Okay.
go. Okay, go ahead.
All right, you can leave.
Yeah.
So wait,
Should we troll him and just immediately be like, okay, we're done?
you don't want to see spoilers?
No, I've seen them. There's just not much. I was joking. I mean, there's not much to say though. It's gonna be like a
Bro,
5 minute
it's
conversation.
literally just one page, bro.
It's it's one of it's the
nothing at
most.
all.
I mean, it's not even the most
Uh,
interesting page. It's kind of just like this is the direction we expected, assuming they weren't just gonna not do the
mm,
Sand Village thing and disappoint everyone. This is what we expected / wanted. That's all.
yeah.
And they only showed us the one, I said the three people that of all the people you would have expected. You would have expected Konohamaru the most probably, and then obviously we don't even know who else. The only thing to talk about is really who was going to be on the mission.
Yeah, I mean, I I wasn't expecting Konohamaru specifically because
Really, I
I
was.
was
'Cause
I was thinking, yo, like, this dude, he's one of the targets and stuff. Same with Sarda. I normally when someone is targeted, you don't like send them across the country, you know? So yeah, that decision is very interesting.
So I definitely
Um,
agree with you from that perspective, but I was expecting it because while Konohamaru was in the last arc, he wasn't the focus, and it seems like Matsuri and Ryu are probably the most likely focus Shinju for this arc. So I kind of just expected Konohamaru to be there. Plus, he's supposed to be like the top ranking Jonin, basically, and they're just gonna send him everywhere so he can lose to everyone. The usual.
yeah, but from it's kind of the narrative clashing with logic in a sense. Um, like technically, like if you're gonna include Matsuri, you'd want Konohamaru to be there because that's his connection. Uh, so it makes sense narratively, but it just does make sense logically.
Yeah.
From a strategic standpoint, you wouldn't do that. Now, it would be interesting because people have like predicted that maybe Sarda is there as well, which should make it even worse.
There's a
She's also a
few.
target.
I mean,
So yeah,
realistically, I know some people have mentioned like the anime only characters, which would be cool and all. I don't
I
expect
mean,
them at this point.
uh,
Like, it's not an
I don't care
expectation.
about those guys to be honest. Like
Yeah,
we have so many characters already that need screen time. So I
exactly.
think
That's
the
the
obvious one would be Mitsuki. Mitsuki would be great.
I want
It's
Mitsuki there for
I
sure.
mean he has
Mitsuki's
to be there from a narrative standpoint as well.
he's my
Uh,
number one for who I want. Um,
yeah.
Sarga, I'm gonna be honest. There's one thing I thought of after the fact that I think is good, but other than that, I don't really care. I don't care about Sarda is the problem. But the one thing I would like about her being there is kind of Naruto wants to become Hokage, saves Gaara in the Sand Village, beginning Shippuden. Naruto wants to become Hokage, helps save Gaara in the Sand
Honestly,
Village.
bruh,
You know,
I would
that's kind of
hate
cool.
that. That's
Really?
not even cool to me, to be honest. Cause I'm like, I spoke about it in the server today. I'm like, yo, uh, like nostalgia isn't all that great, man. I
Well, it's better than nothing.
like it's not really. I mean, at this point, just copying storylines, and
But doing it
it's
worse.
getting to a point where it's like, yo, like, can't you like create your own shit? You know? So it's like, bro, legit just stole the Kazekage rescue mission. He didn't even change the scenery, didn't change the character, the target. Like it's literally the Sand Village again. It's Gara again, the same plot again. Like he's not even trying anymore. So it's like at some point, bro, this thing is no longer like callbacks and you know paying homage. It's straight up copyright infringement. So uh I don't know. I don't read stories to see the same storylines being repeated. So like I like parallels if they're done correctly. If they're interesting, but I don't find directly copying something interesting, to be honest. And he's done it way too many times. At this point, just create your own shit, bro. You know.
Yeah, it's like Turkey because I mean, didn't do anything
Uh,
with her anyway. I don't like manga Sarada, so I'm biased against her. Obviously, that's not gonna help. I would like to see Mitsuki Team 10, particularly Shikanai, although he got focused a decent amount last arc, it was more about Inoji than Shikanai. So I'd like to see Shikanai
mm,
and Mitsuki the most, probably. Team 7, partially expect to be there just because Boruto and Kwaki are teaming up. So, and Konohama's there. He's there. Maybe Sarada. Okay, at that point, just do the
I mean, like at that point,
that, though. The thing that sucks there, though, is then Boruto and Kwaki are going to steal the limelight away from Mitsuki, which is the whole want Mitsuki there. So,
I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, I don't think Kawaki and Boruto should be there. For one, Kawaki doesn't give a shit about the Sand Village. He doesn't give
well,
a
it'd be a
shit
matter
about
of whether he got,
anyone.
but
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, like, he wouldn't. Kawaki in character wouldn't leave the leaf to go protect the Sand Village in another nation. What, especially since the leaf itself is under attack as well. And not only that, Himawari is a target. So I
What if
don't in
Himawari
logic.
was sent to the sandwich?
Yeah, so at that point, the Leaf is sending all of their heavy hitters to another nation while the village is being targeted. It just that's the thing. It's just like he
But it
needs
is
to
Chikadie.
understand
It's
how to
Hokage.
like he needs to understand how to use different battlefronts. Like if you go back to Shippuden, especially in the war phase, like you had people fighting on different battlefronts. You had people in the land of wind. You had people in the land of whatever, snow or rain, whatever, I don't know. The land of fire. You had people in the village. Like you had people you had different locations. You had fucking Sasuke fighting Killer Bee in the what's that called? The Cloud Village or Cloudland, whatever. While
Yeah,
Naruto
Battle
is
of
fucking
Unraikyu or something like that.
yeah, while Naruto was in the at Mount Miyaboku, and we were like switching in between the two sceneries. Like Hikimoto needs to learn to do that shit, bro. Like what once he's in one location, that's all you see for like months. I'm like, don't you can like use different battlefronts at the same time, right? Like that's the
I
type
don't
of
think
shit
he's
I'm
been
like.
the best at that because, like, for example, even in the last arc, I know it's all in the Leaf Village, but there's two battlegrounds. There's the Hidari one, there's the Jurgen one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did the best job of cutting back and forth compared to stuff Kishimoto did, especially in mid Shippuden, where like you would go from like you know um, the Sasuke stuff to Naruto stuff basically.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
you would
very
just go back and
distinct.
forth; they'd be pretty seamless.
Yeah, and it's very distinct as well because the environments themselves are different. So yeah, I do find I think when you incorporate that into the story itself, it can make sense. So, you'd have like Kawaki and Boruto protecting the village. So if Jura shows up for Himawari, again, they'll be there to fight him. And then you can and Sarada would be there as well with Hidari. And you send like fucking Mitsuki, Team 10, and Konohamaru and someone else to the Sand Village. That's all you really need. Because again, um Shinki's target is Gara. And he already has that narrative thread or connection with Mitsuki from part one. So if someone is gonna fight the Shinki Shinju is gonna be Sage Mitsuki.
That's what I
And
want.
then
I just exactly. They have a more fun dynamic than Boruto and Sarada did with Shinki as well, in my opinion, at least.
yeah,
Because
definitely,
Shinki like
100%.
knew Mitsuki was hiding his sage power, but he chose not to, and he was kind of
Yeah, but
pissed.
and no one
So it's
wants to
cool.
see Boruto fight Shinki. Like Boruto. Like we don't want to see Boruto defeating every Shinju. Like they already have
I
that
don't want
dude
to see
fighting
Boruto at
Hidari
all.
when Hidari isn't his opponent already, which is weird. So and then you want to have him fighting Shinki as well? No. Like leave the other Shinjus to other people. That's how you get the other characters involved in the story. So I think that's what they should do. So yeah, Mitsuki fights Shinki. fucking Konohamaru and Team 10 will fight um what's her name? Matsuri, because
Matsuri,
again, yeah,
Actually, okay, I got a funny one.
that's its
Okay,
target, you know?
they're not gonna do this. They're not gonna do this. But what they
Mm-hmm.
should do for at least one panel for the meme, they should have Matsuri fight Matsuri. Do you even know who I'm talking about?
Wait, go again?
They should have Matsuri from the Sand Village, Gaara's student, fight Matsuri the Shinju.
Yeah, I don't know any character from the Sun Village, so I have no idea. I have no idea who that is.
I would be so happy. Or Baki Sensei is fighting Ryu with his wind sword. But anyway, yeah, I completely agree though. Mitsuki is my number one that I'm praying for. The one thing that annoys me though, that has me worried, is Mitsuki didn't leave his post when Code was invading the village and when the Shinju were invading the village. I am skeptical that Shikamaru will send Mitsuki away from Damon. Like, yes, he did leave to go fight Boruto that one time, and he did leave when Shikamaru called him in for the interrogation. So it's possible. But when he's not leaving during village invasions, it just gets me worried.
I mean, they just want you to assume that he's fighting Claw Grimes in the background, you know, like the other
I don't think
non-existing
so,
characters.
because it's not implied that they're fighting Clawgram. It's implied that they're at the apartment just chilling.
Hey, you never know.
But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very upset if Mitsuki's not one of the focus characters in this arc. Keeping my expectations low though. But I'm just biased towards Mitsuki. I
Manage
like
your
him and I want them to
expectations.
do stuff with him. I also want to see him use his stage power against not Boruto to see like where they're gonna actually put him.
Yeah, Mitsuki's ass, so they need to do something to build up his, repertoire.
Yeah. But the other thing, some people comment this on my video that maybe Team 10 won't go because of Inojin. It kind of depends on how quickly he's actually healed and whether or not
What do
they're
you
just going to
mean? We
throw
don't
him
need.
into a mission immediately after. I can understand him not being in this arc because of that. Maybe they just send
Bruh,
Chicken Eye and Chocho and leave him behind. I can understand, but it's also kind of weird
he
to say, no, I
shouldn't
don't
be there. Nah, bro, it's not gonna be weird. He should stay gone, bro. He took up a lot of like fucking panels from the last mission, so
He should have been killed, bro.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he got his shine, you know. He took up a lot of panels. Let him rest. Now we
Yeah.
have to focus
I
on
want Chicken Eye there because
Shikadai
that's
and
Gaara's
Jojo.
nephew, Shinki's cousin. Also, would be interesting. Okay, I'm curious what you think they will do with this, but I would like Tamari to find out about all of this in light of what Konkuro said in the last chapter. I want
Mm,
Tamari to find out and they do something with that.
bro, I don't know why she wouldn't know. Like, what?
Because
I mean,
Shikamaru's gonna
like,
try
it
not
doesn't
to
even make
tell her.
sense. I mean, like, the fucking Kazekage got, like, triified or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, no one notices that he's missing. The Kazekage.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Okay.
like and like it's like, all right, Shikanai's going on a mission. Oh, I'm going to the Sand Village, Mom. Why are you
Yeah,
going
you
there, son?
know?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, like she doesn't know that her brother is missing. She doesn't talk to him. You know? Yeah, bro. Sure.
Yeah.
Bro,
But I
come on.
want I want them to do a thing where she finds out and they do something with it, whether it's a matter of Shikamaru doesn't tell her, he lies to her and she gets mad, then goes, or she just finds out and go, however they do, I don't fucking care. I just want somebody there, man. Like she should be
Yeah.
there. But then again, Sakura's just letting her daughter almost die while she's just giving Grandma Josephine her ADHD medicine in the hospital instead of fighting for, So I guess I don't know with these old gen characters anymore.
I mean, like Ikimoto only remembers nostalgia when it comes to stealing storylines, not using
Well,
characters. So
he doesn't remember how to use the characters properly. Just look at Ibiki.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, it was an issue from part one, to be honest. I mean, like you got the infamous interrogation with Amado, with Sasuke begging him for information when he has a Sharingan. You can just take it from him. You know?
Well, To be fair, Amado has a major excuse with his that a lot of people overlook, which is the fact that because he has the bomb around Shikanai's neck, they don't know. Even with Genjutsu, they wouldn't know what to make Amado do to disarm the bomb. They'd always run into the situation of Amado could always blow up Shikanai after because of what they've done.
Not
And they do
really.
want to gauge his trustworthiness. So I can understand not using forceful means on Amado because of his preparations he put on before the interrogation. That doesn't apply to Boruto though. With Boruto, they have all the everything under the sun's allowed for them. Just use the psycho mind transmission jutsu and read his memories. Don't have Konohamaru ask him questions. Like from their perspective, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Or have Ada
yeah,
fact check. Because Ada knows just as much as Boruto, just with her sentry gun, and she can just find out the information. You don't even need to ask Boruto.
The thing is, I think Ada says she's not gonna help them. So,
well, no, they haven't asked Ada about this stuff. Ada's been telling him about the Shinju. They didn't, it's like they're not.
That's true.
Or they should at least have her in the call to be like, Ada, is what he said true? Can you check?
I mean, like you have to remember that Ikimoto really tends to forget about abilities, and people used to excuse that shit to say, "Oh, it just wouldn't have worked." Nah, bro, he just didn't remember. Okay.
Oh no,
It
I
goes
know.
back
It
to
pissed me off.
it goes back to Sasuke. It goes back to all these characters that are not used in Naruto, forgetting that he can reverse summon. All that shit. He just doesn't remember the abilities, but he remembers to steal those storylines. Though that's what he remembers.
I don't know. I don't want to hate on Ikimoto too much, but I want to hate on him a lot.
Ikimoto, Ikimoto needs to retire, bro. He needs to give the series to new blood,
Have you read his Cosmos one-shot chapter yet?
Nah, why would I read? Why would I voluntarily read another of Ikimoto's work, bro? That's crazy. Okay. I don't know about that one.
I have low expectations, but I was curious.
Bro, look, Ikimoto isn't bad, okay? He has good storylines. I enjoy Boruto. He has great, like plot twists, and he does cool shit and all that stuff. No one is 100% bad, okay? But I mean, bro, okay. Boruto is on a monthly schedule because he's too lazy to do it weekly or bi-weekly, and that's negatively impacting the popularity of the manga. But he's too selfish to give it up, so he's gonna drag his foot and instead of passing it on to someone else and just step up to a supervisor role like Kishimoto did. No, he wants to keep drawing, but not draw fast enough to get
But what if
series out.
actually it's not his choice? What if Kishimoto's forcing him to do it because Kishimoto really wants him to be the guy?
Bro, nah, bro. I highly doubt that shit, bro. Based on that interview, bro, Kishimoto is not that involved, man. Like, bro
Well, no,
says,
yeah,
yo,
he's
like,
not. Because maybe he wants Ikimoto because he really wants Ikimoto to like shine, right? So what if he's like, no, Ikimoto, you can't retire. You need to do this manga.
well, I don't know if he has that control over him, but maybe. that, that would be crazy, but maybe.
But anyway, so who did you say you think's on the team again besides Mitsuki Konohamaru?
Just Team 10.
Okay,
What's left of it.
Yeah, I figured our candidates are Team 10 and Team 7. I really don't expect anyone else. Or actually, no. I have my other expectation. The worst of the worst. Okay, it's gonna be Team E. So Nishi, the guy who Ishiki beat up, and the guy who just ran away and never came back during the Shinju invasion. That's gonna be Konohamaru's team. That guy is just gonna disappear again.
Random joinings. I mean, hey, maybe.
And you know what's gonna happen? Everyone's gonna get beat up except for Nishi, because Nishi reigns supreme every time. He never gets injured, but yeah. I mean, I will say though, when it comes to Boruto and Kawaki and them, it's really tricky because obviously while this is happening, Code is supposed to be seeking out his targets of unknowingly Koji and Boruto. They could do a thing to where Boruto is separated from Koji. That's what allows Koji and Code to have a 1v1, because Code winning a 2v1, no matter what they do, it's going to kind of feel meh, given how Boruto kind of beat his ass easily. So 1v1s makes sense, unless Code, like, unless Amados does actually have more secret cyborgs and Code's just going to awaken those or something. But I would hope he learned his lesson from last time anyway. But still, unless that happens, it's like Code has to 1v1 with Koji, or else it's just not going to be a fair fight. So you could argue that's a reason to have Boruto stay away, because he's busy doing something else. So the question, what else would he be doing? Well, he can help with the Sand Village, or I guess he and Kawaki can make up something else. They can train together. I don't know. Like, they can be talking to Amado. I don't know.
Boruto can be in multiple places pretty quickly because of FTGs. So
well, that's the problem. So he
part,
needs to be hung up somewhere if he's not going to teleport back to Koji.
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on if they do the Koji thing right now, because they could just wait until later on. Because Code tends to disappear for like multiple chapters before he does something. So, you know.
I mean, yeah, they can, but I don't want them to, because it's going to become too flat, boring, one note if it's just, okay, just the Sand Village now, nothing else. And then it's just Code and nothing else. That doesn't feel like enough. That feels like we're stuck with just an A story or just a B story without both, which they, in this case, they kind of need both, because neither the A or the B story is really enough, I feel like. Because even with Jura's invasion, you have the A and the B. You have Jura and Hidari separately doing two different things, learning different things, and so on. And even that's kind of on the minimum end, really. I thought that was a lackluster arc. But at least they're doing that. In Matsuri's case, yeah, she can fight Konohamaru, but, like, you have to weave in different storylines rather than just two different battles of the same thing. So I Code is a different storyline, so that's why I'm fine with it. Like,
things, it has to be things that, you know, people care about. You know, so like he can switch between like conversations, but if it's not interesting, I don't know. And the thing with the upcoming chapter is it's gonna be a setup chapter again, because it's the start of a new arc, you know. So
as long as it's interesting setup, that's the difference between things. So like chapter 14, like if you're going to compare it, chapters 13, 14, 15 so far, they're all three are just very much just dialogue for the most part, setup related things. Chapter 14 stands out though as by far the most boring, where nothing really happens, because plot wise nothing happens. There's nothing new. Story wise, a couple of small things with like Mitsuki and Shikamaru and Ino, but that's really it. Whereas, you know, chapter 13, well, a lot of new information, some thematically relevant information. Chapter 15, there's a lot of new information. Again, new things happen. So if it's a setup chapter, it doesn't matter that it's a lot of dialogue. That doesn't mean it's slow. What matters is, are there new things being presented? That's what's determining if it's slow or if it's moving along at a good pace. Because it doesn't have to be about battles. It's really just about new things happening. And also whether or not those are interesting things. Because if they're completely boring, it feels like nothing's happening too. That can be another thing that kind of misguides you in that sense. But I feel like they have the perfect framework to do set up with new interesting things if they want. I don't think they're in a bad situation. It's just a matter of whether or not they're just gonna go take 20 chapters just to arrive at Gaara's location and be like, huh, that's weird. And then they cut away to another conversation. Maybe Sumare's got her sweat beads talking to Amado or something. And or maybe the elders take 10 panels to say something. And then at the end, Ryu shows up. Like, if they do that, that's not a good chapter. They do that. So they need to,
I don't think there's much
something else.
they can do. I don't think because we're in a we're at a point in the story where we've been on the Shinju arc for over a year. Um, so you know, and people like to say, "Yo, Boruto is monthly." It's monthly, but
It's a bad
it's over
excuse because it
40.
doesn't
It's over
matter.
40. Yeah, it's over 40 pages. So it's like the same thing if it was weekly, when it comes to page count, or at least, well,
It would be a little bit
bi-weekly.
less.
Let's
It
say
would be a
that.
little bit less, but that's not the problem. The
Yeah,
problem
but
is when it's 40 pages and nothing really happens. So I'm gonna point at chapters 2 and 14 as the biggest culprits, to where it's just
yeah,
like you're not
but it's
really
not like
doing
it's
much.
not.
So if you wait a month and you just get that and nothing happened, it's really like waiting 2 months. Like,
Yeah, and it's more so the point that you're waiting. It's been over a year, and we're on the same topic. We're talking about the Shinjus again. We haven't gone anywhere for the most part. So
see, I
at
think a good
this
thing they
point, they
could
need
do.
to wrap up the story. They need to not wrap up in a sense like, oh, they defeat every Shinju, but we need to step somewhere. We need to move somewhere else because,
Exactly. So
like, if they can't just they can't just keep introducing new stuff without closing out old stuff. We have multiple plot lines running at this point. We have Omnipotence, we have the Shinju, we have the Otsutsuki, we have so many things going on. Like, what more new things can you introduce without wrapping up one of the other things that are still ongoing? We have the Momoshiki
yes,
stuff. Like, there's so many things going on. Like, people would think like there's nothing going on in Boruto because you're only seeing the Shinju for over a year, but we have multiple things going on. There are
most
multiple
of them
things
are
they can
part
tackle.
one things, but
Yeah, yeah,
regardless.
that were left open.
And so there's a lot of, like I said, like they have, I think in my opinion, this arc's a great chance to do a lot of those things. It's just matter whether they do it. So for example, Boruto's Momoshiki stuff, that can happen at any time in any arc. So pick your favorite arc. That can be the time to do something with it, because that's just how it's always been with Momoshiki anyway. So he's the easiest one. So then when it comes to the Shinju, what are some things that need to happen so that we can move along with their stories? Well, first of all, we need to know what happens when they devour something, when they devour someone. Does the other person die? Do they become a Shinju? Do they become something else? Does the Shinju that devoured change in some way? We need to know these things. We also need to see what happens when a Shinju is killed and they do whatever they do with the Thorn Soul to free that person, and how they do stuff like that. So those are two things with the Shinju that need to happen. So you can do one or both in this arc, but they should do at least one, because they've already set up both in the last arc. So because they teased both last time, Hidari almost devours Sarada. Hidari is killed and almost freed with his sword, but neither happens. You can't just do that again. Now you've got to pick at least one and cash in on it. Ideally,
You say
do
can't.
both with two different Shinju. You could have Ryu get freed, Matsuri devours Konohamaru or Gaara, whoever, it doesn't matter. The point is, ideally, I would say do both in this case, but at least one. And then, obviously, Amino is going to be a progressive thing, so Kawaki's going to get his limiters changed, most likely, in some manner. They're going to continue stuff with him. I don't expect him to be closed out, obviously. Code is one that I don't expect to be closed out in this arc, but he's someone they should focus on. Similar how, like, in beginning Shippuden, you have Katsukage Rescue arc is focused on the Akatsuki. Next arc, Akatsuki's related, but it's focused on Orochimaru, first and foremost. And then it goes back to Akatsuki. Then it focuses on Sasuke
The
slash
thing is,
Orochimaru and Akatsuki and so on. They can do something similar to where Ko becomes the focus in this arc, with the Sandville stuff being the B
the thing
story.
is
Then the
though,
next arc they flip flop. They could do
the
that.
thing is that they can't do that in Boruto for one reason, and that's
Nobody likes
because
Code
the
anymore.
Shinjus. No, it's the Shinjus. They have no other purpose
Yeah,
outside of devouring the main cast.
true.
So unlike the Akatsuki, where the main cast could have just like gone about their business while the Akatsuki were doing their stuff in the background, going around killing the other Jinchuriki that has no relation to the main cast. Like the Shinju, if the Shinjus just decide not to come after Boruto and Himawari, like it's gonna be like, why aren't you
Well,
doing
I'm gonna
that?
tell you
What's the
right
reason?
now,
So they have
that's
to
gonna
introduce a
happen.
reason why. They have to introduce
gonna
a
do
reason why they don't do
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah, in which I want them to do that. Obviously, they should have done that better last arc. Matsuri, they retroactively did the research thing. Should have done it before, in my opinion, but at least they did something eventually. Mamushi, they still haven't addressed. So,
Mamushi, it's a turn-based system, bro. Everyone takes their turn. You have to
but that's
understand.
not what they should do. They can do that in a sense, but they need to address why within the plot. These are important things to do so that
They need
your
to.
immersion's not
Will
broken by
they, though?
nonsensical plot.
Will
But
they? Will they?
yeah.
Will they? I mean, like
Now, of
there are
course,
so many things in part one they didn't address. You just have to assume. So
yeah. And I mean, the sad thing though is like honestly, they could just do like. Oh, the problem is then if you do everyone at once, it kind of becomes cluttered. But like hypothetically, if Mamushi attacks Ada and Damon, that can be how Mitsuki gets involved if he's going to stay at the apartment while you have Matsuri and Ryu doing whatever. But you still run into Jura and Hidari. Easy things they could do. Have Jura try to research where Naruto is, but be unable to get to Naruto at any point during this arc. That is the easiest thing they can do with Jura that basically keeps him from doing anything while he's still doing something. And then all you got to do is have him just be like, Hidari, stick with me again. Okay, Hidari's solved. Like, it's not that hard to come up with an excuse. All they need to do is just include the sentence of them saying these things. And then they're fine.
depends on the Himawari thing is because he wants Himawari as well.
Well,
So, 'cause he
honestly,
wants to
no, he
understand
doesn't, bro.
why-
Like, Jura's thing is almost like, if anything, if he takes all the excuses he can not to do it, he's like almost reluctant. And there's plenty of signs, even though whenever it's like, for example, Himawari, when there was nothing else in his way, he couldn't find an excuse he was going to devour her. The moment her power comes out, oh, perfect. Let me play around with your power. Okay, he beats her to the ground. Well, let me take my sweet ass time. Oh, Boruto's here. I'm just gonna let him take her away. Okay, I'm gonna shoot you, Boruto. Oh, but actually, I say I'm gonna kill you, but I'm not going to kill you. I'm actually just gonna leave without getting my target either. He finds excuses, and that's not inherently a bad thing, but it's important to note. With that in mind, I don't expect Jura to just return and go get Hibawari, because if that was the case, he would have just fucking done it. Nothing was stopping him. I know the
depends.
excuse
I
is
think
bad
it's
as it is,
more
but
so-
nothing was stopping him. So the only thing you could say is character stuff, and that's fine. But they need to
It's
do that, and if that's the
more
case, you
so.
can't
It's
just go
more
back to February.
so. It's both a character stuff and just bad writing. So it's you can see what the writer is trying to do, but it's just how it was done was just terrible. You know,
I agree,
because
but
if you're doing it
but they
the
can at least
character way,
make it worse. Because if he does go back for Hibawari, you've only made it worse. Don't do that. Go where
no,
you
they
were
have
going.
to. No, but they have to though. No, if he doesn't do it, then that would be worse because he's already said that he wants to. Right.
They just
So
gotta
and
make
the
him
reason
have.
why is
You
because
know what he
he
needs?
wants to understand why
What he needs. What
she
he
has
needs
what he
is
wants, you know?
internal dialogue. He needs internal monologues. That will solve all of this. So that there's no him saying stuff to others. The trick, we just need to see his internal thoughts, and that's gonna go a long way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
With that in mind, I'm gonna tell Oodie he can come back. We just don't talk about the fact that Konohamaru's in the Sandville.
Yeah,
And you
I'm
can
gonna
even
say it when he's
even
here.
act like it's your theory that they're gonna go to the
Nah,
Sand
bro.
Village.
I'm just gonna say it's the spoilers, bro. Cause I don't know what's wrong with dude. That one panel is gonna spoil the story for you. Two guys standing on a cliff.
I mean,
Nah,
honestly,
bro,
yeah.
overreacting, bro.
Of all the ones, it's like, bro, I wouldn't worry about this one.
Bro, it's too crazy, bro. Bro's acting like he enjoys Boruto that much. That's crazy.
He's actually become Boruto's #1 hater.
I'm saying.
But I feel like that's all of us. We're both Boruto #1 fans and #1 haters at the same time. I told him he can come back though. Immortal, are you listening? Immortal? Is he still here? Are you still here, Kido? Am I still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I say, I don't hear anyone. Oodie, are you back? Nope. Okay. Well, this makes this tricky. Cause trying to go cook some food. You know, Kido, did you know that Shikaku Nara was a special Jonin, not a Jonin?
What do you mean? What's the
He's
difference?
not a Jonin. He's a special Jonin.
What's the difference?
You don't know? Oh. Well, you know, actually, I want to know where the fan books came up with this, but it turns out the explanation of what a special Jonin is comes from the fan books. It's not in the data books. It's on the manga. I know that. It's on the anime. It comes from the fan books, which are those written by fans?
I have no idea. Like you think that's the case given the name, right?
Yeah, so that's
But I
where
don't
did
know.
they get that information? But I don't know. But the way it's explained, at least, is a special Jonin is basically a tuning, but they have some sort of skill that they're like Jonin level and basically. So for example, Ibiki is like a tuning level, but he has Jonin level interrogation, or he realistically is beyond Jonin interrogation. But the point is, he has a specialty that's what gives him special Jonin, basically. So Shikaku would probably be his intelligence and strategy, but like, what's sad though? What's so Inoichi and Choza are just regular Jonin. So
Ah,
Oodie had a good theory, which I like, is that Shikaku was just so lazy that he just got to be special Jonin but didn't want to be a Jonin or something.
yeah, I can see that being the case.
But
Let's see.
like Oodie, I swear to God, if you fucking went to the shower, I'm trying to. It's gonna be impossible for him to do what I'm gonna try and do here, right? I can't do this. I need him to read topics. Well, and Immortal's not
What do you think about
talking.
what do you think about Konohamaru being Jigen?
Beating or being?
Being Jigen. Being.
Um, uh, who made that theory?
I just saw it on Twitter.
Oh, well, that means Konohamaru is a pretty bad dad.
Wait, what?
Konohamaru being Jigen.
No, I
I'm just
mean
hearing
like
you wrong.
no, being Jigen level.
Oh,
So like, yeah, being on his level, power wise.
okay. Uh, I was like, uh, he wouldn't be a very good dad to go on. That would be terrible. If he's Jigen level, it makes no sense.
I mean, he was like, bro was reacting to fucking Hidari.
Hidari's weak though. He's the weakest of the Shinju by far.
That's crazy, bro. That's
It's
crazy.
not crazy,
You,
bro.
you really think Hidari is
Mamushi is over
weaker
here
than?
hitting
Nah,
Boruto, reacting
Mamushi
to
is the
Boruto.
strongest, but
Mamushi,
Matsuri.
Matsu's stronger than Hidari too. Bro, Hidari's
Nah,
getting
Matsuri
bodied
is
by
better.
Sarada. He's the weakest by far.
No,
Konohamaru's
but
reacting
nah,
to Hidari.
well,
They're not.
I mean, for one, he did beat Sarada. So, but two,
Still.
that just upscales Sarada and Konohamaru above Matsuri.
Ooh.
Nah, bro, they're not above Matsuri, bro. Part 1 Shinki's probably still stronger than them. And he
Bro,
lost to
Shinki got
Matsuri.
packed up. Nah. Probably
Well, you have
Shinki
to
isn't.
remember,
Nah, bro,
Mikimoto
actually,
no, but
that's a
here's the
down
thing.
scale for Shinki if you really look into it.
that either
Bro
Shinki
got
got
packed with
weaker
Gara.
or, I mean,
Not
Ikimoto
got
did forget to.
weaker.
I think he did
He just
because
didn't get as
Ikimoto,
strong as everyone else.
bro. Because no, Shinki got weaker because Ikimoto forgot to give him his Iron Sand jacket, and if he was wearing it, then the claw grind would have broken its teeth when it tried to bite him, and he wouldn't have been turned into a pig.
I mean, it would have gone. It could have been his neck or
Okay.
his head or something.
Hopefully
Nah,
that
bro,
works.
because he could just move the jacket to cover him. It's on him. It's the easiest defense
Nah,
ever.
but
Well, I mean,
but
I
if
did
he
that.
if he gets speed blitz, then
Hey,
You
Ash!
shouldn't be getting
Welcome
speed
back!
blitzed by the claw grind that Team Shikacho can handle.
What
Ash,
do you
does these
mean,
numbers
bro?
look
A
good?
claw grind speed blitz karma Kawaki, bro. What are you
Okay.
talking about?
I'll assume it's
Shinki,
good.
without even trying, body-based Kawaki. Then Kawaki got nerfed and
Bro,
is
base
over here
Kawaki is garbage,
bodying
bro.
the
What do
claw
you mean?
grind. And he got
No,
nerfed,
no,
he's
no, no,
still
no, no,
bodying
no.
the
Well,
claw grind,
no,
and he's
no, no,
kicking
no, 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 no,
Hidari
no, no, no.
around. Like,
No, he got nerfed, but a stronger version of him got nerfed. So it's like if Super Saiyan God Goku got nerfed to
Kamui
like
doesn't
Super
know what
Saiyan
that
2, he's still
means.
stronger than base Goku, you know?
yeah, but it doesn't matter, bro. Like, you can't if Shinki is weaker than Sarada, Inojin, and all them
Okay, while
now,
they're doing this, I'm
they
gonna try
ruined
something.
Shinki for me.
I mean, bro, like who was Shinki fighting to be like on their level? Like, bro's in like the Sand Village fighting like poets and farmers, bro. Like, well, I don't get it. Yeah, you have
Well,
like Sarada
did you see how
fighting
strong?
god
Did
level
you see how?
entities.
Did you see how strong he got off those farm level people in the tuning exams?
I mean, bro wasn't that strong.
Yes, he was. He was
Is he even
destroying
strong?
Boruto and Sarada.
Bro,
Yeah.
he was just spamming that iron sand. Like, is he physically strong?
It doesn't matter, bro.
He's-
His Iron Sand's OP enough to make him strong.
Nah, bro, but guess what? The iron sand can be negged by karma. It can be
No, it
negged by
can't.
many things actually.
How
Why?
can it be
What do you
nicked by
mean?
karma? He can't absorb it. It's made of
He
actual
can
sand.
absorb the chakra from it.
Not in how it's explained in for the karma seal in Boruto. They just can't absorb it. Otherwise, Boruto
I
could have absorbed the
mean-
chakra out of Code's claw marks in that case, but he couldn't.
Yeah, no, but no, well, no, that's
Okay,
kind
we'll
of
just
different.
have to make it work.
Because
No, it's not. Same
the
situation. It's
yeah, it
iron.
is because
Okay.
no, because the claw marks are created using the chakra and the iron from his blood, but the sand is just being
Interesting.
manipulated by the chakra he puts into it.
Okay.
You know, so when you
Yeah, but-
remove the
but
chakra, the
it's for the
sand is still
but-
there. It's
No, but for
just not
example,
gonna be able to.
for example,
Alright.
Kawaki explains you can't just absorb a water style jutsu manipulated by chakra.
Josh.
You can't absorb a fire style jutsu manipulated by chakra, even if it's real water or fire. You can't just absorb the chakra. You just can't, is how it's explained. Even if you think that makes
No,
no
because
sense.
that's different though. Because
How is it different? It's the same thing.
Because it's not really the same thing.
Yes, it
because,
is. You're manipulating water or you're manipulating sand.
But they don't explain it in the sense that the chakra is just in all of the water. It's
You
kind of
manipulate
weird. It's kinda
water
like,
with your chakra.
yeah, but you put it on the one end and then it just manipulates everything.
Then
But,
you
like,
could just
the chakra
explain that
is
for
in-
the sand.
No, but the chakra is in every part of the sand. It was explained in part 1 with Gara. So it's he just sends his chakra.
It's in the sand.
I mean, I guess that's true. But like, put it like this. But if
That
they
being
put
said, though,
if Shinki puts someone in like a sand coffin, you don't think a karma user would be able to absorb
well,
the chakra from?
it depends on what's plot convenient at the time.
Okay. Kido, let me ask a
For
question.
example, like, Gara's Kido. Do you remember Gara's mom? How she protects Gara with her sand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you remember more than Ikimoto. Got it. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
I think it's more than just chakra because the chakra fruit is stated to be like chakra and genetic information.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that's where you're
like,
going with
the
that.
and is very important. So it's like it has to have some like genetic component.
Well, I don't think it
So,
has
like,
to. I
physical
think it
ones.
just
Because that's why I
does.
say, like, it doesn't make sense for the Otsutsuki to feed themselves whole if
if
they don't
exactly
need to.
if it just if it's just chakra, like yeah.
Well,
like,
plus,
just
I'm
give it
pretty sure
chakra.
there is genetic
Exactly.
information in chakra anyways. So that could also be what they're getting at there.
No, oh,
I
Oodie,
highly doubt that's the case.
Oodie.
Probably.
You are such a hypocrite. If you think that, then you need to denounce all of your Kurama arguments.
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yes, you do, because then Kurama clearly would have genetic information in his chakra.
Genetic information is not genetics.
Yes, it is.
No, it's just the information without the
I
genetics.
can't. You outed yourself.
No, it's the information from the genes without the genes itself.
You dig yourself a hole further if you want. But
It's
you
the
outed yourself.
phenotypes, Kamui. Don't you know what a phenotype is? Exactly, so I don't want to hear it.
Yes. What's
Okay.
the phenotypes? Tell me what the phenotypes
Kimoto
are.
knows what a phenotype is, bro.
I clearly
doesn't.
know
He
what
knows
it
what
is
he
based
is
on the
because he
fact that
knows that.
I just brought it up under this context. I refuse to explain what it is because I proved that I know what it is already. Any
No, you
reasonable
haven't,
person
bro, 'cause
watching
you say
would know.
words. You say words using their own definitions all the time, so that's just a fallacy if I've ever seen one.
Well,
Oh,
you
that's
can't
crazy.
see fallacies, you can only hear it. So that's a fallacy if I've ever heard one, Kamui, from you.
I can
I mean, you
smell
can
them
see it if
too.
it's written.
Only thing I smell is your bad
What do you
attitude.
No, my sense of smell is better than Kiva's, just like Kagashi.
Okay.
Dude.
Well,
Anyway,
I do. So it seems as if, unlike a normal seed that just grows within the span of like 9 months and you can fertilize it several times, it seems like it isn't like a time span, but rather it's a like one and done type of seed, quote unquote, with these Otsutsuki, claw grimes, whatever, Tintails. So it seems like if you give it like low quality
really?
fertilizer, it's going to give like a low quality fruit or whatever, or tree. And in this instance,
I mean,
it seems like the Otsutsukis want the highest quality tree at any cost possible. And since they can sacrifice themselves, I think that just gives the most, like 100% of their chakra. Which, because they can do karmic resurrection, that doesn't matter. I think if they couldn't do karmic resurrection, obviously they wouldn't. And they would just give it its chakra
just
and
don't
get a
like
less
that.
quality chakra fruit.
I personally think it should be about the flesh too. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, like the most logical thing is, says genetic. But I mean, like even going back to the tree thing, like they do it multiple times. So like even Kaguya's tree, she got a chakra fruit from it. It was still there because she merged with the tree afterwards, and that's when it turned back into the Tentos. Right? So it's not
Yes.
like they get the fruit and then the tree just dries up and disappears. It's still there.
Yes, but can
So
that
you can
tree make
assume
another
that it can
fruit?
I think it can. Just feed it another Otsutsuki. Or you just leave
Why?
it there.
Well, first of all, can you feed
I
the
mean, there's
divine
no
tree in
contradicting
Otsutsuki?
information to that.
Like, how
The
would you
divine
do
tree
that?
is
like
the
what we're
Tentos.
gonna do in
Because it can
Boruto.
literally turn back into the Tentos. So we saw that. So like, if
Okay,
it turns
but
back into the Tentos,
That's
feed it.
okay. You got me there. I think you're right on that because it can devolve, assuming the filler's correct. Is there any instance in canon? I don't think there is, but
Well, there's when Kaguya merges with it.
in the war. I mean, in the war, it literally devolved, right? Because it was the 10. So look at it this way: it was the 10,000 initially, turned into a divine tree,
Yeah.
got its chakra taken, reverted to a Gedo statue, came back in Naruto, turned back into the 10,000, then turned into the divine tree again.
Okay, hold on. So
So-
remove the filler
yeah.
entirely. Just going with the manga canon.
Yeah,
let me
all just manga canon.
let me just work through my head, just working out loud how this happened. So Kaguya came to Earth with the divine tree, or the divine tree was already there. Either way, and this is just manga only. Either way, the divine tree made a chakra fruit. Kaguya ate it. Then when Kaguya is fighting Hagoromo and Hamura, she doesn't actually do that. She merges with the. So okay.
She merges with the Tentos before
No, she merges
fought
with the
Kagura.
divine
But
tree.
in the manga,
She merges with the divine
yeah.
tree and becomes the Ten-Tails.
but
Yeah, in the manga, she
how?
merged with the divine tree.
Can
then
we
it
look
turns
that
into
up?
the
Because what does
Tentos.
that look like? So Do we see that?
It
In the
looks like
manga?
the ugly
No.
Ten-Tails, yeah.
Only stated.
Yeah, it's in the manga.
Do we
It's
see
also
the
in the
divine
Hagoromo
tree
and
in the manga?
Hamura. No, we
You
see
see
the
it in the war
Ten-Tails.
arc.
The ugly one. The one with
What
the
chapter would this be?
ill-shaped face.
Like 680, 685,
It's
660.
Which one are you? What are you looking for
around
specifically? What are you looking for
Kaguya versus
specifically?
Hagoromo and Hamura.
680 something.
680. Okay, let's try 683.
Go to. Well, there's more than one of them.
Is it after
but
the ice
672.
dimension?
681 is when
680.
Zetsu says that Kaguya became the Ten Tails. 671,
I am sharing my screen
or
as
maybe
well.
He merged with the Ten-Tails.
when Hagoromo is telling Naruto about it, and you see that.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
one
So
is
here's
it?
the
Let's see.
flashbacks. It's Madara eating Hashirama.
Why am I
Which that
seeing
might be
this?
something. He ate the flesh. There you go. If you want something there. But to be fair, he spit it back out. So I feel like that's also a thing that they're trying to
Yeah.
do there.
Well,
anyway.
no, he actually well, no, that's not what happened. Well, he actually well, he stored it in his mouth, then he spat it out, then grafted it into one of his wounds.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't see what that extra context changes of my thing, but okay.
The point is, it was about the flesh.
It changes the fact that the flesh is also involved in it. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. I included that. The point is he didn't eat it. He spat it back out.
No. I mean, but then he
He
inserted
surgically
it back into his
implanted it.
system.
He took an
So
IV.
it's kind of like the same thing.
My
I
point
mean,
is he
I think
didn't
you
eat
are
it.
way past the point at this point. You're
I
way
went
past
through
the-
like 681.
way
I
past
told you the
point.
chapters.
It's
671.
literally
671?
Maybe
it's when they're in the
670.
fire,
The first
either when they're in the
681
fire
and
dimension
671 are the two
or
chapters.
670.
Okay, I'll check
If
671.
it's not 671, then 670. Try 670. I don't know which one was the
Nice.
first chapter.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so there's
670 and
Divine
681 will be
Tree
the
in
two.
It's not
671.
that chapter.
670
Well-
and 681.
I already checked 681.
Just go back.
What the heck
Go
is
back.
that?
Go back.
681 is
back to
when
the
Zetsu
prior
Why are
says
you
that
being so
Kaguya's the
defensive,
tenth.
Kamui? What is your like tone of
because I said
voice?
5 times which one is in which chapter, and you're not listening. 670 is the one when Hagoromo's, you see him and Hamura fight the Ten Tails.
Yeah,
then
and I was just at
681
671.
Is the one when
There
you told
Zetsu
me to
says
go.
Kaguya became the Ten Tails.
Okay, look, there's
Scroll
the
up.
I
Divine
already
Tree.
found
Scroll
the
up.
chapters. I already
Scroll
have
up.
it.
You know what? Fine. You share your
Scroll
screen, Kamui.
Bro,
You're
you're
so
literally on
much
the
better
chapter.
at it than me.
All you had to do was scroll up, man.
Right
It
here.
was right there.
Yeah.
It was also on that one.
Okay,
as
we'll
well.
scroll up.
The
So what's before that?
And then the other one
disfigured
I was referring
Ten-Tails.
to.
Oh my god.
Nice. Is that the great bottle? I mean, you were on it just a while.
This is
And there it is again.
Kaguya's the Ten
Yeah,
Tails.
that's right where I was.
This is them
You're like,
fighting the
hey,
Ten
no,
Tails.
go to 681. No, don't go
If-
there, Rudy.
if
Even though I was right there where you told me to go.
only-
I
if
told
only
you
you
what was in
scrolled
both.
up.
You were too busy not listening to what I was saying.
only-
I
you
listen to
scrolled up.
absolutely everything, which is why I went to both. And you were screaming at me the whole time.
No, you weren't listening. You were
Okay,
just
yeah.
hearing.
Where's
Doesn't
Hagoromo's
make
six
sense.
spots?
What are those ropes on the mountains they're on? Are those the 6-path weapons? Are there 2 of them actually? The golden ropes or whatever?
No, those are just random ropes
Okay.
to make it look cool.
Okay, we'll scroll up a little bit. What happens before that?
What are you looking for?
I'm just trying to piece
Just
together.
Kaguya's
So it's
backstory.
okay. The chakra fruit of that same divine tree that you have seen in this org. Go down.
So there you go. Divine tree.
Kaguya consumed
like a
the
tree.
fruit, gained power, and subdued this land. Okay, so it's still the fruit, or it's still the tree. Some people come out there, blah blah. Later, Kaguya had 2 children. I was one of them. We brothers to atone for the crimes of the battle Tin-Tails. But it doesn't even say that Kaguya merged. Where does it say that?
Because
Because-
Hagoromo didn't know.
Because Hagoromo didn't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying where does it say? Not that it doesn't say it. You were too busy hearing, not listening,
Black
Kamui.
Zetsu chapter.
No, because if you fucking listen, I told you where everything was stated. Zetsu says it here, and then in the data book, they literally say that she merged with the
The
Ten
data book.
Tails.
Okay, I'm not looking at the data book.
Yes.
So.
The great data book.
I don't know why
Official
Kamui
data
thinks
book.
so defensive out of nowhere. For no
Because
reason.
you're not listening when I
Accurately
tell
translated
you.
data book.
She integrated
why
with the
is this still
divine tree and challenged the twins to battle. This is when she becomes the Ten Tails. It's the twins assuming the Ten Tails was an incarnation of the divine tree, and that it attacked them to blah blah blah.
Assuming. Interesting. Why would they assume that?
I don't know how they didn't notice. Like, where did they think their mom went?
She
they-
disappeared, bro. She left them to
The
get
only
milk.
explanation is that they thought the divine tree consumed Kaguya and she was like dead because of it or something, but that's not what they say.
They thought she went back to the sky.
From the
They
far
not-
away
I
land.
mean, Hagoromo thought his mother fell from the sky. That's all he told Naruto. She came from
Mm-mm.
far away. Where? Who knows?
Hey, she's like, it doesn't matter where. It's like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? Yes, it does.
Because
Bro, you're
Kaguya is the
assuming
final villain, I
Hikimoto
think it just narratively makes
remembers
sense that if Kaguya
what the
won, then
line
she just would
Zetsus
have
are.
won. Like she's not gonna have conflict in the future. She just would beat anyone from Boruto in the timeline if she just wins in Shippuden. I feel like that's the vibe they're going for.
I mean, technically speaking, Konohamaru, you know, is stronger than Kaguya. Because every character in Boruto is stronger than Naruto characters. So
Yo, all right, Oodie,
I mean,
I think you were gone when I was talking to Kido about this. So Kido mentioned a theory that Konohamaru is Jigen level because of Hidari feats. I said, well,
Okay.
Hidari's weak. Where are you on the totem pole? This obviously means Sarato's like Jigen level as well.
Obviously, Hidari's weak. Like, I don't know what Mello's problem is making fun of the 5 Kage fighting Momoshiki. Like, bro, Kurotsuchi is punching Kinshiki harder than Night Guy. Like, if you just want to compare the explosion, it's literally just a better feat. Like, it just is. I don't know what his problem is.
Makes no sense, but
yeah, because the Otsutsukis are garbage. Weaklings.
They're tanking Night Guy level
well,
attacks.
Hidari's weaker than them.
Just casually.
Tanking, bro. Kinshiki could barely stand after that hit, bro. I wouldn't call
Nah,
it
bro,
tanking.
he was fine. If he
Bro's
didn't get
like
sealed, he was
shaking
getting
and
back
wobbling.
up. If anything, he
Kinshiki
took
was
it
a
way
tank, bro.
better
He
than
took a lot
Jubi
of shit.
Madara.
Kept going.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
What do you mean? Jubi Madara's
I mean,
almost cut
like,
in half from it.
I mean,
Kichi didn't even look damaged.
no, I mean, relatively speaking. I mean, like, if she punched Jubidara, it would be the same thing. In fact, it would do less damage
Why?
because Jubidara has insane regen that works instantaneously.
Well, first of all, it doesn't work
That's not
works
doing
on a ton
less
of
instantaneously.
damage. That's just making
Second
the
of all-
damage meaningless.
Yeah, it'd be more damage. That's not how damage works. Just the healing.
I mean, internal damage is different. It depends on what you see. Okay. Yeah, Kinshiki got damaged severely. Just couldn't see it because her punches works on the internal organs. It's like the gentle fist.
I don't know if Otsutskis have organs. Well, yeah, they do because
So,
Urashiki.
you
Never
know,
mind.
this is the
They
okay.
should.
They do. Urashiki did.
See, there you go. There you go.
But I don't think
There
it's
you
the
go.
same physiology. Like, I don't know if they have kidneys. They just have organs. That's all we know.
Nah, they definitely do, bro.
Okay, well,
'Cause see,
hypothetically,
you know what?
Kido, do you think, if, like, assuming they have blood like ours, like a type A, type
Orochiki
B,
was
whatever?
drowning in water, bro.
Do
He has
you-
lungs.
Yeah. Well, my question is, do you think that, like, genetically humans and Otsutskis are close enough to where if Urashiki's lung collapsed, he could have got, like, a lung donation from Shino if Shino really wanted to donate his lung?
I mean, he wouldn't work because of, like, you know, the fact that his body would reject it. You know, it's like a
Well, assuming that Shino was a
yes,
match,
the
though.
same blood type.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a match and all that stuff. It gets very complicated. But no, I don't think that would work. It's like a different species.
Okay.
Well,
that's what I
in
was asking.
Family Guy, at least, Brian Griffin,
although
the dog, was
they
able to give
did-
his liver to Peter Griffin.
but that isn't not even in Family Guy. I think in real life they were able to like transfer was it a heart from a pig
There you go.
from a pig to a human, and it worked.
Hmm.
I have to search it up.
Similarly,
Is that true? Let me see.
I think this is more credence the other way around. It's like if Orochimaru really wanted to donate his heart to Hinata, I think that might just make Hinata stronger, if anything. But to be fair, for credence
Maybe?
for the possibility of this working, Sasori just gave way of his entire body and he was still alive. So don't even need
Well,
Bro, that
He
organs.
has the,
Sasori doesn't mean that doesn't even
more
make sense.
thing.
So you know.
Yeah, like I don't know what Uroshiki's problem was. You don't even need him.
Oh yeah. Also, I mean, Kaguya reproduced with a human, as pointed out by Ash.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a good
I think
point.
the organ transplant should be doable. Like in
Oh,
fact,
there you
the
go.
fact that
There you
Kaguya
go.
did that means she is human. Like scientifically, you can't reproduce. Like, but she's at least
I mean,
very close to human. And
not
no, she
really.
is human
She's
because
humanoid,
Romo
so,
could
you
have
know.
kids. That means they are the same species, at least in real life. Because, like, if you do a
mean-
horse and a donkey to make a mule, the mule can't have kids, or a liger can't have kids. It's a thing. But if they can reproduce too, they're the same species.
Well, Kamui, what if it's a thing to
Hagoromo technically
where
can't reproduce.
yeah, what if it's like a chance thing to where Hagoromo could have been full Otsutsuki, he could have been full human, he could have been a mix, and it's just like it just happened to come out this way, rather than it's the same thing every time. It would also be the same for Hamura in this case, but you know.
Well, Hamura had kids, seemingly.
Yeah, like I said, it would be coincidentally the same for Hamura if this is true. Like hypothetically,
but,
if it was
like,
triplets,
At least in terms of what I understand from the science stuff, if they're not the same species, their offspring won't be able to reproduce. It just can't happen.
yeah.
So, if they're taking that inspiration by chance, it would mean humans and
Doubt it.
Otsutsuki are the same species.
Honestly, I don't think they considered it in the first place.
Or they're
I don't
not.
think they did either.
They're not. And this is fiction.
Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense.
Well, at least I have proof they're the same species.
Ooh.
Hey, maybe the first Otsutsuki was a human. Who knows?
I think that'd be nice. You know,
Yo, that's
honestly
a good title for a video.
speaking,
The first Otsutsuki
I would be
was
really
a human.
happy if the first Otsutsuki just is taking Madara's story with Kaguya, the one where there's just a human ate the fruit. That just is the beginning. They're just gonna use that. That would make me really
Ooh.
happy.
The beginning.
Okay.
The chicken and the egg. Which one came first? Which one do you think came first?
I say Divine Tree. In fact,
I wish
have
Immortal
a
was here for that question.
whole 20-minute video I started a year and a half ago that I really should finish at this damn point. Talking about basically everything we've talked about today. I'm a year and a half behind on that.
Yeah. Okay,
Long before the Shinju existed.
Backtracking a little bit, I think it's weird, like, from a narrative perspective, that Zetsu can multiply. At that point, I understand that Kaguya, the reason she wanted everyone on Earth is because she wanted her army timely. She wanted it as soon as possible. But the fact that one Zetsu can just duplicate itself into 100,000 and it could have seemingly kept going infinitely. It's like, you don't even need more than one person at that point.
Wait,
like,
what?
I think it works
That
better.
didn't happen.
What do you mean? Go ahead, Kido.
The Tento, the White Zetsu didn't duplicate, right?
White Zetsu.
No, it can. You can just poke out
No.
clones like nothing. They're solid
When?
clones, dude. They're better than shadow clones.
Really?
The 100,000
Yeah, he does it
Zetsu
all the
from the
time.
lore.
And then Obito turned it into the 100,000 army. That was
Wait, hold
Obito
on.
and Zetsu.
Hold on, go again.
Because
Who?
they're all
Me or Oodie?
clones of the original Zetsu.
Anyone?
Do you remember when Sasuke like first woke up for the war and he killed the Zetsu and like, no, not the original.
Yeah.
That was the original
They're
Zetsu.
clones
they're
of
all,
him.
Yeah. Which also means, Kamui, going back to your question, it sort of doesn't matter, or at least you can't use the war arc
I
to
see.
say that Zetsu could be different strengths or whatever, considering they are literally all duplicates of that one Zetsu. So they're going to be that Zetsu's power level,
Yeah.
all of them,
Yeah.
outside of random mutation.
And
I
they also
suppose,
seem to
but-
be weaker than the original. Okay, it still hurts my soul to this day that the original didn't get like a big fight. Like I
Yeah.
wanted Black Zetsu and White Zetsu to individually and together to get an actual major fight that's cool, fucking awesome fight, and Guru, of course, to get an actual fight that's not just him bodying the Alliance off screen.
Okay, I have
They
a
deserve
Wait,
better.
but
Yeah.
hold on.
Okay.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't
what?
think that's the case. The white Zetsu clone thing, right? Wasn't that wrong though? Wasn't that changed later on?
No.
No,
what are you
I'm
just
thinking?
pretty
White Zetsu were
sure.
pulled out of the statue, but Zetsu doesn't specify he pulled out 100,000 of them.
No, but because he said he tricked him into thinking that he created them, but they were just like the people from
Yeah, he's
Kaguya's
referring to when
past.
Madara. So, like the ones in Madara's cave when Obito's being healed, those white Zetsu are the ones Black Zetsu tricked Madara with, and we only saw two, I think.
What?
The original
Well, I mean,
and
no, but I
Guru.
think he was referring to all of them because when he showed the list, when he was showing them, because when he was saying it, it actually showed white Zetsu's hooked up to a tree. So you go like to chapter 81, 681, or was it 82? When
Yeah,
he's
no,
explaining to like
681,
it
but
shows
like
Yeah, don't
Then
let
even
Kamui
those
Kamui
just
just
tell
look
you
shows-
which
like the
one.
original.
Hmm?
They look like the original, not the clones. So the clones have this like, it's kind of weird that the clones don't look like the original, but that's besides the point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because it in order to like let's see. So it says don't worry, I'm not gonna
679
kill
has the
anyone
white
at all.
Zetsu thing.
Yeah. Even when Kaguya previously cast the influence of Konomi upon the populace, she preserved those people alive in order to form them into soldiers. So what's left of those were under the previous influence of Konomi. That's what the white Zetsu are.
But Obito explains though to Kabuto that they like multiplied. Like I mean, you could say maybe
I mean, both could be true, you know. I guess.
it's possible, yeah, but they
Yeah.
definitely like it doesn't make sense for the white Zetsu clones to refer to that white Zetsu as the original. If
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's not the case. Wait, did Black Zetsu trick them?
If you
I
remember,
mean-
Kido,
I mean, it was a long con on everyone, so
yeah, before the
possibly.
war started, we got that like Zetsu volcano or Zetsu like shooting out of the ground, and before that, we got that like 3D CGI shot of the 100,000 Zetsus during that reveal.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Zetsu
Yeah.
saying that's when he duplicated himself. Yeah.
because yeah,
That being said,
Alright.
your interpretation is what I think they should have done. And technically, I guess it's possible they could have done. I don't think they did, but I think that's what they should have done. I think it would be
Yeah.
way cooler instead of fighting clones or spores or duplicates or however he did it, if they were fighting the original people from Kaguya's time, especially considering the shinobi history theme.
Mm. But I mean, it could be. I mean, the clones could make sense as well. You know,
Yeah. If
It's
you
like wood,
remember in 5 Kage
It's just-
Summit, we see that
Yeah, wood
Zetsu's able to
clones.
like multiply spores onto the 5 Kage or onto Sasuke or wherever.
yeah.
He also just summons some clones out of the water when he wants to fight Naruto, and Obito says, "No, don't."
Yeah.
Yeah, but are those clones as strong as a normal Zetsu? Is that surprising?
Well, they don't fight, so we don't know.
They should be. Yeah, I don't see
See
why
if
they
they
wouldn't
do.
be. I mean, I don't see why Zetsu would even come out of
They
the
look the
water
same.
if he
No,
just...
ironically, those
would.
clones look more like clones than the other clones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Going back to Zetsu though. Okay. We can continue with his abilities to see if they take chakra. So the next one would be Zetsu's spores.
so not him cloning. Let's just say that these are different.
Mhm.
So do you think Zetsu spores?
The spore jutsu, yeah.
Yeah, they does in the 5 Kage Summit.
It's weird because we don't even know what the hell that is, but like, again, it should take chakra. It's like it's a jutsu. It should take chakra.
I don't know. I mean, so he is plant-like, so it is almost just like he's shedding seeds almost, or pollinating the air. Think about like
It depends on like how he's making them.
You watched the War Arc
like-
filler, right? Remember the episode where Darui
Yeah,
has to go fight like the rainbow color Zetsu that are like poofing the gas into the air? He has to go
You
rescue
mean
the
Omoi?
kids.
Omoi?
Omoi, yeah, it was Omoi. Yeah, what if
Yes,
that's related?
It,
Okay, let's go win it.
That-
First of all, do
that
you
whole
think
thing was-
do you think the rainbow poofing gas took chakra, or is that just a mutation that Zetsu could just do anyways?
I can't remember if that was. I've only watched the War Arc of the anime once, so
Yeah.
bear that in mind. But I can't remember if that was like the environment more so than Zetsu himself doing that.
Okay. I haven't.
So I think
watched
it
in,
might
like,
have been
2
the
years at
environment, but
this point.
Zetsu was just immune. But I
Yeah.
don't remember for sure what just.
I haven't seen that episode in a little bit as well at this point, so yeah. Okay. Going back to the spores, do you think it does? I'm gonna say it doesn't for that one. But for the splitting, cloning jutsu, or even is it a jutsu? The thing that makes him turn into 100,000, does that take
Well,
chakra?
Obito says it took most of. I checked earlier.
Mm.
It took most of the chakra of the Biju and the Ghetto statue to make this army. I don't even know if it is really Zetsu doing it, or just like
What?
Obito.
That doesn't
doing it
even make
somehow.
sense. What does he mean by it?
Do you have that? Can you show that?
I'll see if it's still up.
What?
I
Because
know
it's
what chapter 1 second.
implied that Zetsu's been doing this for a while, right?
That was like a war preparation, so
Because what does he mean? He needed the chakra of the tailed beast. Did the chakra of the tailed beast restore while inside the ghetto mazo, sealed away? I don't think it restores, does it? It's like, how did Zetsu use that chakra to multiply? Because if that's the case,
how
because
did
what I'm
you?
thinking,
Not easily. It took most of the chakra of the Biju stored inside the statue. I like to preserve them as much as possible. Blah blah blah.
okay, can you post it?
100,000.
Because what?
Yeah.
So in that case, it does take chakra. And seemingly, Zetsu can do it without the Ghetto Mazo. It would just require its own chakra at that point, so he can only do it.
It
Like,
just would be as many. Like
times.
we see him do the make the clones thing, like
yeah.
when he in the Kaze 5 Kake Summon arc. Oh, I just realized I thought I was sharing my screen and I wasn't. That's why you couldn't see it.
So then, okay, so Zetsu just used the tailed beast. Do you think he just did this in like a week or two? How long did this
The
take?
weirdest thing is Obito makes it sound like he did it.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe he's giving off.
I mean, if this is the case, I think Kaguya's got it in the bag. She had like dozens of years before Momoshiki. Like she would have had trillions of Zetsu at that point.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, and then if you assume that like a Naruto Zetsu becomes stronger than Naruto, or fucking at least equal, is what does Shibai do? Like, you know, it's just like GG. Like, no wonder she wanted to do this on Earth.
Oh my god, bro. Well,
The
that's
most
another
OP
thing.
plan possible.
That's another interesting thing that Dragon Ball plays with as well. The Otsutsuki seemingly only found or came to Earth. I wouldn't say because of Kaguya, I would say because of Earth's readings. It's a little bit retcon / inconsistent because they've been watching this whole time and this is Kaguya's sector. I don't know what happened to Kaguya. Let's go check on Kaguya. And then they don't mention Kaguya, but
Yeah.
then the Earth curvature is 16. That's how it's weird. It's an anomaly. They got to report the anomalies back to the clans. It's like, so I don't know which one it is, but hypothetically, let's just say it's because of chakra on Earth. That just means it's because of events such as the Fourth Great War, or because of shinobi history in particular, that Earth is so strong that the Otsutsus came in the first place. Well, at least Momoshiki and Kinshi. Obviously not Kaguya, but, you know.
Yeah.
So it's almost like...
I would
interesting
like...
that way.
I think it should be shinobi history.
Yeah.
Thematically, that works by far the best. It makes sense in the plot.
I agree.
Like, shinobi history, the chakra got more and more powerful. That's part of the problem Madara is posing in the first. He's looking at it from the negative point of view. It's like, as shinobi and chakra and everything evolved, wars only got more devastating. So, like, it works from all the perspectives. It just, whichever one you want to look at the time, it serves the narrative that this is the case. So it's just, that's just the one to do.
That was
And
always
also,
my interpretation.
obviously, because that's one of the themes at the end of Naruto.
Exactly.
What better thing to pick from? Like,
I've always thought it was that as well. Yeah, I'm glad you agree with that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. In that case, I wonder if Momoshiki and Kinshiki would have came several years earlier if Kaguya just won and started making her Zetsu army. Would have got the space curvature of 16 way quicker.
well, it depends. Would you consider that Zetsu army shinobi history? If not, less shinobi history in that case.
Well, I mean, Zetsu wrote shinobi history, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say, Zetsu said it was.
Yeah. Zetsu's more Otsutsuki than any of them, so I think he would know what a space curvature looks like.
Do you think any Otsutsuki, so Orochimaru, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, or Ishiki would get along with Black Zetsu?
Oh. Kinshiki's the closest
Like, would they like
personality-wise,
him? Would they
obviously.
want to recruit
Okay.
him into Kara?
I think Oroshiki would get along with Black Zetsu the best, and I think Momoshiki would get along with him the least.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Kinshiki would be similar
Momoshiki.
to Momoshiki.
But he wouldn't say too much.
Kinshiki would treat him similar to Sasuke, I think. Not in terms of, like, as an enemy, but in terms of just,
Interesting.
like, an annoying pest, almost. Because it's
Do
more
you think
like he's
Ishiki would try to,
yandere
like...
for Momoshiki. I think.
Yeah,
because
do you
of
think
that.
for... So Oroshiki, I think, would, like, just troll around with Black Zetsu, like, maybe, like, laughing at
Yeah.
Obito together or whatever.
Yeah.
Would Ishiki, though, try to, like, be comrades with Black Zetsu? So you think, like, Black Zetsu, after everything we've been through, why are you betraying me?
Nah, bro. I think specifically Ishiki would just be like racist against Black Zetsu, not because he's black, but because he's coming from Kaguya, and he would just eliminate all traces of Kaguya, period.
They'd be pissed.
Yeah, like
Screw
even
you.
if Black
But do-
Zetsu hated Kaguya, Ishiki would still kill Black Zetsu, but especially because Black Zetsu loves Kaguya. It's gonna kill him.
Do you think but do you think Black Zetsu could like trick Ishiki like Koji to where he's just in Kara trying to betray?
I wonder what Black
Like,
Zetsu's reaction
who
would
would
have
pull off-
been if he pulled up, or if Ishiki pulled up on him.
I'm just imagining like when Koji's like talking Ishiki and he's like inspired with crash. Black Zetsu is like just doing the acting.
Actually, I'm not sure if Black
I
Zetsu
would
would even have memories of Ishiki. Like, it's possible that Black Zetsu only remembers everything from, like, the moment he was
He's seen,
born, which
yeah.
would include Kaguya, obviously.
I don't think he knows Ishiki unless like Kaguya told him off screen at some point.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
But
know if Black
obviously if
Zetsu
she, like,
is
told him, he
Kaguya
wouldn't, but-
or is Kaguya's son. I don't know what Black Zetsu is still. I love the idea that he is just the Karma Seal.
He is her will incarnate, but he's not her. Blatantly clear by the fact that they have two distinct personalities and intelligence levels and so on. They're obviously not the same person, but he's her will incarnate.
It's interesting that you
He's
say
a
that.
being created by her.
Considering the Madara and Black Zetsu thing, they don't have the same personalities or whatever either, if you want to say that.
But
It's
Madara, at the
same
point,
argument.
Madara thought that Black Zetsu was his will, aka him. But like, even if they're your will, you're still clearly not the same entity.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Just because like he has a different personalities. Yeah.
But you know what I'm getting at, just going
So, like,
back to those conversations just in general. We don't have to go to those conversations. Just
Yes,
interesting to
but
bring
and then
up.
you would say the same about Kage and Black Zetsu in that case.
Exactly, yeah, that's why it's weird. If anything, it would make more sense if Black Zetsu was Kaguya's
Yeah.
personality, rather than its own distinct
I agree.
separate thing.
Like when Madara gets revived, Black Zetsu should just go away and she should just act like Black Zetsu.
That'd be so weird. I would not like that.
I wouldn't either because I like Black Zetsu. I'm one of the rare breeds. Like
if anything, Black Zetsu should have been acting
I
like
Black
her
Zetsu
the
more
whole
than
time.
Kaguya.
Bro, imagine how cool it would have been.
Like-
Black Zetsu pulls up to Naruto and Sasuke and just starts crying. Like, I hate you, my children.
That would be really funny.
Okay.
Or
so-
what if
Mhm.
Black Zetsu was actually trying to act like Madara the whole time? That's what it was.
Oh my god. Crazy. Okay, so back to Zetsu and how Zetsu's chakra / jutsu / abilities or whatever work. So apparently, as we just learned, Zetsu's multiplication takes chakra, since he used the tailed beast chakra somehow. I don't even know how, considering it was sealed. By the way, it was sealed.
And considering the tail beast had plenty of chakra throughout the whole war and everything.
Exactly, yeah. So, okay. Keeping that in mind, if Black Zetsu wanted to really rush things and Black Zetsu, or not Black Zetsu, just White Zetsu, just any Zetsu, just Zetsu hit absolute 0 chakra, does Zetsu die? Or at least that clone copy or the original or whichever individual it is?
He should.
Should. Why? So, okay. Go ahead.
Because he's living, and when you run out of chakra, you die.
Okay, I don't think that should
You
just
run out of
apply to
stamina.
all living things, necessarily.
It's how it goes in Naruto. It's when you run out of stamina, which means just all your energy's gone.
Okay, well,
You
that was
still
going to be
have
my next
energy.
question. Because, as we know, Zetsu can't eat, and seemingly he can't sleep. How does Zetsu rest? Because you need to
So,
rest to regain
this
your
is
stamina. Does Zetsu have infinite stamina like the Edo Tensei?
That's one option. So there's two more. The second option is especially in light of the cave scenes with Madara. He was hooked up to the ghetto statue. You could argue that's where he's getting his energy from. That's option 2. The third option, which is probably my favorite, works only if Zetsu is using nature energy rather than chakra, in which case he just gets it from the environment at all times by just whenever he stands still, or
Okay.
maybe like he does absorb it passively.
This
That would be my favorite.
This could be why Swirly Zetsu dies at the very end. Obviously, it like doesn't really still make sense
Exactly.
with the Infinite Tsukiyomi breaking
Well, it
apart.
still doesn't make
but-
sense, but
Yeah, well, it's a way to get there at least. Instead of just out of
Yeah.
nowhere randomly. Okay. Because as we see, the Zetsus literally don't have digestive tracts. Like, they don't have their organs. I guess they just got dissolved into their spongy, white, fleshy skin plant stuff. It's like they're literally
Yeah.
hollow on the inside, as we see when they open their rib cage to eat people.
yeah.
So, okay. That's how they rest. So that's how they get chakra back? Or do you think they have, like, a limited chakra supply that they can't rejuvenate? Aside from stamina. Do you think their stamina is linked to their chakra?
Well, it should be like any other human.
Well, I don't know about exactly like any
It's
other human. I
really
think
good.
it could be separate, because I think part of the thing is, first of all, there's chakra in every cell. I don't know if that applies for plant cells rather than animal cells. You could say it does, because I think all the trees
Well,
and stuff on Earth
there's no
does.
chakra cells. What it is you have stamina. Stamina is physical
Yeah, I'm
and
getting
mental
to it.
energy added,
No,
but
there's no
not mixed.
chakra cells, but there's chakra in cells.
So to clarify again, stamina is just mental energy plus physical energy, not mixed, just together. Those things are stamina.
Yes.
You mix the two, you make chakra. You convert stamina into chakra when you do any jutsu. So there's not just is chakra in cells, there's stamina in cells, which can then be transformed into chakra to power your cells.
Yeah, I put it in chat.
That would be the best way to describe it. Okay. Well, I'm not looking. I'm doing something. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the way they describe it in series
anyway.
is a little bit confusing, but we got it right here.
It
So
is.
first, in Sakura's case, when she initiates the Shadow Clone technique, she is able to convert precisely 30% of her stamina into chakra. You see a little chart here. Then, because she can expertly control her chakra volume as well, when she begins making hand signs, she can clearly produce 3 copies of herself and still have 70% of her stamina left for later use. So it's because of it's like a chakra control thing for stamina to chakra.
Yeah, like Naruto wastes. I don't remember which numbers they use specifically, but let's just say Naruto needs 10% of his stamina to do a 10% jutsu of chakra worth. Naruto will use 50% stamina to produce the 10% chakra he actually needed.
Yeah,
That's how that.
If anything, this should be reversed, though, because that's clearly not how it is. Naruto has a lot of chakra, not a lot of stamina. He does have a lot of stamina,
he
but
does. No, he has a lot of stamina.
No, he does have a lot of stamina, but that's not my point. My point is, if it's taking a percentage of his stamina, it doesn't matter how much stamina he has. If Naruto uses 50% of his stamina for a jutsu, then he's out of half of his stamina. It's like, he's gonna be out of breath.
This is why the numbers, so the numbers shouldn't have been percentages. It should have just been quantitative numbers. So like 10 units instead of 10% is what they should have done. Because then Ebisu's point makes more sense when he says you just have so much stamina, it doesn't matter, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, it should have been units. For all I know, actually, Japanese unit memes aside, what if actually that is just a Viz mistake to where it is units in Japanese and they put percentage in English?
I doubt it, but that's funny to think. There's also this other thing I put in chat as well. I don't know if you can look, but I'll just read it all. So the speech bubbles say, these show in easy terms the flow of physical and mental energies collectively called stamina, which move within the body whenever a ninja uses ninjutsu, taijutsu, or genjutsu. This diagram represents the healthy state of full stamina prior to use of a technique. And then at the bottom here it says, the mixing of mental and physical energies, or in other words, the production of chakra. And it's like at the middle thing where it's like the backwards cycle forwards thing. Mental energy, physical energies.
Yeah.
Here with stamina. And here's chakra at the bottom. That gets the signs to the ninjutsu or genjutsu. And taijutsu just uses stamina, but that's weird because it seemingly doesn't use chakra in that case, which that just isn't true.
Well, so interestingly, at least in the anime, what Guy says to Lee when they're explaining the primary lotus during the Lee versus Gaara fight and stuff, he explains that the primary lotus is different because this jutsu uses chakra, which is why it's like so much stronger and to strengthen the body. So that's what he says in the anime, at least.
Okay, but then it's a ninjutsu. Based on this diagram,
Which
it has to be.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then it would have to go
Rock Lee
through
can
the
use
hand
ninjutsu.
signs as well, which means Rock Lee can do ninjutsu without hand signs. He is very skilled at ninjutsu, actually. So.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And elsewhere, they describe that in order to gain stamina back, you need to rest, or recover, I should say, which is either through rest, implying sleep, or eating,
Or
which is
eating.
yeah,
Or
they have the diagram of Naruto eating ramen, or they also have obviously you can rest at like a hot springs to rejuvenate. It's like rejuvenation, so you recover your chakra. But obviously,
Yeah, that's actually
Zetsu-
why Jiraiya is so strong.
yeah. And again, that gets to the question that we already covered, so we don't have to readdress it, but just address the question again. Zetsu can't do this. Zetsu doesn't eat. Zetsu doesn't sleep.
Well,
Unless you're going to argue Zetsu
can go to the hot
rejuvenates in
spring.
a hot spring.
Yeah.
But
So this is why I like. So obviously, the ghetto statue one makes sense during the Monarch cave scenes, obviously, but not so much the rest of the series. But that's why I like the nature energy one, because he could just absorb it from the environment at any time, basically, whenever he's not fighting, essentially.
yeah. I
Which
like the
makes
idea.
perfect sense with what the Ten Tails. So
I like the idea that humans need to convert stamina into chakra because humans have human bodies, which are humans and not chakra. And so because of like blood flow and all the other human things they have, it'd be like that. As opposed to Zetsu, which I don't think has like a chakra network or anything. I don't think Zetsu has stamina. I think Zetsu just has a body which can move because of chakra. So it's almost just like taking the stamina aspect out and just putting chakra in its place. So it's not converting stamina into chakra.
Yeah.
He just already has chakra that he can just use.
that's definitely a possibility, but then you still have to explain where he replenishes it from, though. If he's using chakra for jutsu.
Yeah,
Unless you want to say, yeah, it's infinite chakra.
exactly. But in this case, because
So
like
it's still like
hypothetically, Kamui, I can't imagine Zetsu, which doesn't have a cardiovascular system, doing taijutsu for a couple hours for
that.
training or whatever, and just like being out of breath. I don't think there's any instance of a Zetsu being out of a breath. So it's like,
Maybe when Guru Guru's dying.
no, I don't think so. I mean, I think we see Zetsu's like injured and like critically injured to where they're like dying to where maybe they could be like reacting differently, similar to a human, but I don't think they're like because of their stamina depletion or anything.
Do you
It's
think
just the body
Zetsu
trying to recover.
photosynthesizes?
I do. Yeah,
Is
no,
that
that
how he
is my
gets
theory.
energy?
Yeah, that was going to be mine. The only problem with that is I'm pretty sure the Zetsu are attacking at nighttime, so unless they just have enough storage, it's weird that they would be able to get through the night, but I don't know.
Well, maybe that photosynthesis is them absorbing nature energy, and we can combine our theories.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know why you said, whether on stream or off stream the other night, like a week ago, that Zetsu just doesn't attack during the night in the war arc, and that made no sense because he does.
No, it was Kabuto's Edo Tensei. Unless
I mean,
we're talking
don't
something else, I
they?
don't know. No, the Edo Tensei stop at night.
What does Kabuto do? Does he sleep? Is that why?
I wish we got a line say Kabuto like being like, damn it, I'm tired, I need to go to bed, so I'm ready for tomorrow. That means the Edo Tensei have to sleep too.
I mean, it would make sense if Kabuto's controlling them. The problem is he only controls like one at a time.
Yeah, the fact that they're automatic. So.
But yeah, now that you say that, I do remember them going back into the coffin during night. Yeah, but that's also weird considering he doesn't do that on the final night. I mean, I guess that the sun just went down, if you want to say that, but like, still, I don't know. I'm sure they
She was keeping
explain
him
it
awake.
somewhere. Yeah, they gotta explain it somewhere. It just doesn't make sense otherwise. Maybe he's like letting the Edo Tensei recover to gain back his air chakra. I don't know. But anyways. And then let's also check out the chakra comprised in every cell, since we mentioned it. Okay, well, it's gonna be a little bit hard to find, but I can find it somewhere. What's up, Ash? How you doing, Ash? Kushina had especially powerful chakra in every cell.
Hidari can body code.
Nah.
Oodie,
Code
Ash
wins.
thinks Hidari overcode.
Code wins
And he
easy.
thinks Sarada cannot beat Code too.
But yeah, I definitely think Code easily beats Sarada. But anyways, am I still sharing my screen? Oh, I wasn't even sharing my screen the whole. That's okay. I've been posting the scans in chat. You said you weren't looking anyways. So well, I don't know if you come back, but chakras are, to put it simply, the energies that a shinobi requires in order to perform ninjutsu. Basically, these energies are those of the body drawn from each and every one of the approximately 13 trillion cells that are believed to make up the human body. Those of mental and spiritual energy acquired over the course of much training and experience. Together, those two forms of energy are what make up the chakras. It's also weird how she's saying the chakras. First of all, making it plural. Second of all, having the.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Okay, so it's an energy converted from a different energy. But, yeah, so the stamina thing is both physical and mental stamina. So the stamina from the trillions of cells and from your brain, I guess. But in this case, again, do you think Zetsu are having it from both? Or is Zetsu only having it from one? In which case, which one?
Probably the physical if it was only one. I don't think it's his mental energy.
Well, based on Sakura's description, those of the mental and spiritual energy acquired over the course of much training and experience. So, Zetsu should have it if Zetsu has trained or had experience. I don't know which experience counts, but I think Zetsu has experience.
But has he trained?
See, okay, regardless of training, real quick, the 10 tails, the mindless-tailed beast, has experience. Like, it's experienced plenty of things. So, where do you draw the line? Because it's not like Sakura's...
It doesn't even have mental energy either.
Yeah, it's not like Sakura's saying that it's experience from the training. No, she's saying from training and experience. It's different from training.
Yeah.
Also, do you think... Okay, so obviously training would be like physical energy. Do you think like if a mindless being somehow trained, it would gain mental energy? Like, do you think hypothetically, if the 10 tails was just shadow boxing, it would just turn into Jura by itself? It would just like subconsciously do it.
In
It just
universe, no.
like happenstance.
But that'd be awesome.
I mean, it would be gaining training, which would be mental energy and spiritual energy.
I mean, Kaguya's 10 tail is pretty jacked. I think it's been training.
Okay. So, follow-up question. In general, does the Zetsu body, the original white Zetsu bodies, do they contain a soul? Or a spirit, I should say.
So, the
originals, not the duplicates.
It could be either one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to give you reasons for both.
Yeah.
But it could be either. So, reason for yes first. Well, actually, first let me ask you this. Do you think Hidari has a soul? Let's start with that.
Okay. I'm gonna go with no. And let's also define soul. So soul...
Not even Sasuke's?
No, I don't think he has Sasuke's. So, defining soul, I would say soul is a unique entity that when killed or not on Earth or whatever, it can go to an afterlife or potentially be sealed away.
Yeah.
So in that case, it might just be perception.
Because
Can it continue to
souls are
perceive?
tied to chakra in Naruto.
Yeah.
And if Zetsu has either the chakra of the original person before there was Zetsu, or just its own chakra, you could argue it would just have a soul, even if it's a variation of the original humans. However, on the other end of the spectrum, if we were to assume that in the infant Tsukiyomi, let's just say Tenji is the original White Zetsu, if all of his chakra was drained and instead it's replaced by nature energy or whatever divine tree energy, something, I like nature energy, so I'm gonna go with that. In that case, I would say no, it doesn't have a, it might not have a soul at least, because nature energy seemingly doesn't have a soul. It seems to be mindless. For example, Jugo, when it comes to mindless rages, he basically acts like the Ten Tails when he's taken over.
Yeah.
So that indicates that nature energy doesn't have souls, but regular chakra does. So it kind of depends on what's happening with the Zetsu from the chakra
Interesting.
angle.
Okay. So I'll give my interpretation. What I think is happening here is I think in Naruto, souls are tethered to the human body, but I don't think they're linked to the human body. So if you destroy the human body, aka you kill someone, the soul is free from the body. It's not connected, so to speak. If you destroy the body, you don't destroy the soul. I don't think that's the case for Hidari. I think Hidari is the soul thorn rather than the soul is in the soul thorn. So I think if you destroy the soul thorn, you destroy Hidari entirely. Hidari's physical body and his perception. I don't think there's some separate entity that could be untethered from Hidari or the soul thorn.
Okay.
Unless you want to
Interesting.
say it would be the Ten Tails itself, in which case I would assume that the perception would go back to Jura, but it doesn't seem like that happens, so I'm going to say it doesn't.
Yeah, it's the Shinju are really weird when it comes to the soul conversation. Like,
Because in that case, it's almost like a shadow clone.
until
Like
we
I'm
see-
wondering why it wouldn't go
Yeah.
back to Jura. If anything, that's almost evidence for you to say that Hidari shouldn't have Ten Tails chakra. Unless you want to say it's
why?
trapped within the soul thorn, and if you destroy the soul thorn, then it would go back to
Oh.
Jura. The problem is that the soul thorn just reconstitutes itself upon being destroyed. So, like, hypothetically, if you destroy Naruto shadow clones, and Naruto shadow clone can just poof back into existence, would the experience go back to Naruto, or would it still be within the shadow clone? Like, I don't know.
Imagine if the Shadow Clone could do that, bro. The endless Shadow Clone jutsu.
Yes,
It's kind of like Pain's
bro.
dog. Like what the Shadow Clones.
So cool,
The
bro. That
endless
should have been a
Shadow Clone
jutsu. That no, forget the shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah.
That should have been the forbidden technique.
Yeah, like, and now to make it fair, instead of like the endless multi Shadow Clone jutsu, just it's one Shadow Clone. So it's almost
Okay.
like the second Mizukage against Getsu's Steam Imp.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot what that's like.
Yeah.
But in this case, it would be like a shadow clone. So, you know, it's like so because it's only one clone, it'll be stronger because it's not split up between a bazillion. So you have Naruto himself, and then you have the endless Naruto clone. It poofs. You hit it, it poofs, but then it unpoofs immediately after and keeps fighting. So you get so what's its weakness? Well, you have that 1 second, 5 second, whatever the cooldown is between when it poofs and when it reconstitutes. That's the time period where you can strike. So it has weaknesses, but man, that's a good jutsu.
Okay. So
I wish
think...
that was in the series. Let's write that down.
Yeah, please.
Actually, you already have the clip. Just clip. I'll write it down anyway.
Okay. I think we're in agreement, though. It's that the Shinju don't have a soul. Jura might, because he is the Ten Tails, and it really depends on what the Ten Tails is in order to answer that question.
Exactly. Because if it it's just nothing, it's just mindless, that's all it is. then it wouldn't have his own soul. It would be some sort of spin-off of Kawaki, Code, or whoever. But if the Ten Tails is an Otsutsuki, whichever one it is, then you would have that argument.
Because because the Otsutsuki seemingly do have a soul, that makes a lot more sense. I don't know if we can confirm it, but what is Momoshiki? Did they use the word soul for Momoshiki in the series? Momoshiki's soul is in Boruto? Okay. So then Otsutskis have souls.
He says it himself.
Okay, so then Otsutskis do have souls. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Also, Ash is referring to the Sornthal bulb key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said he's quoted it wrong. He said Sornthal bulb. I think you mean the Sornthal bulb key, Ash.
Yeah, the Sornthal bulb key. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Immortal was here, he'd be able to tell you, but we'll get him on for another time.
Yeah.
He just stopped timing as soon as I said that. Okay, so anyways, back to the chakra comprised in every cell. First of all, okay, next thing. So that's spiritual energy. Back to the physical energy. Do you think Zetsu has 13 trillion cells, approximately? Because I don't know if plant cells are bigger or not. They're square, but like, how does that work in terms of a humanoid figure, which is human size? Seems like it would fit better.
They might be a little bit bigger.
If not bigger, then it should fit better. Like, there should be less wasted space, so it should be different.
That's tricky. Like, is it more organized?
Would it have to be as compressed? Because I feel like for round cells to work together without just falling apart like marbles, they have to be really hyper compressed. I feel like square cells can just like sit on top of each other like a brick.
Yeah, they if anything, they can be more compressed because you can arrange them nicely.
Yeah. So I don't know how that would work, but scientists, get back to us, please. How many cells does Zetsu have? Approximately. Something else to consider. Zetsu, okay, regardless of this shouldn't matter. Zetsus are hollow. They should have way less cells. Like, just considering volume-wise, they probably have like 2 trillion cells, with that considered. So, there you go.
They have less chakra? Well, it depends if they have chakra in the first place. I mean, I definitely think they got less mental energy, if that's anything, so.
Well, okay, what about this? If they have less chakra...
Unless they have a resolve amp that's really strong.
Ooh. They could have less chakra, but hypothetically, if they have like 1/5 the chakra, this might mean because they're like rivaling normal people, they could have 5 times the quantity or 5 times the chakra control of a normal person. What if Sakura's just trash compared to the Zetsu?
Yeah, or like their resolve to protect Kage is so strong that their mental energy is through the roof to make up for it. Their lack of cells.
I still don't know.
Or because they have such little chakra, but they're already plants anyway, they just absorb nature energy, the proportions out of this world, and they're just like Jugo, like just cut around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities with the Zetsu.
Literally. For the bottom of this scan, it says, in effect, all the arts are techniques of the shinobi are born of a combination of those 2 energies brought forth from the body and the spirit in what is called manipulating the chakras and focused in the mystic process known as the weaving of the signs. I feel like it's a terrible translation.
Dude, it's so fancy for no reason. The mystic process of weaving the sign.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Anyways. Okay. Back to Zetsu. I think I had a couple more ideas
ideas here. Actually, I might not have. That might have been my last idea. I might have run out now. I think there was a okay. There is more. There is more. A little bit more that I remembered. So, Hagoromo and Hamura sealed the Ten Tails, which was fused with Kaguya.
The other aspect is just like, I know you think the Ten Tails might have been able to break out, whatever. Either way, regardless, like Hashirama did pin it down and it stayed there. You would think Hagoromo would have an easier time doing something similar with Hamura. Like, is Hashirama just stronger than that form of Hagoromo and Hamura? Like, and then in light of what you sent with the Buddha statue versus Majestic Attire Susanoo thing, like, remove Hashirama for a second, but what does the Ten Tails do if Madara does that Kurama Biju Bomb Magatama Arrow Bead thing combo where he sends out like a bazillion of those things, just fires them at the is it gonna flick them all away? Like,
first of all,
I don't think it's fast enough.
I will say the Ten Tails is incomplete. So that's a big power difference right there, in my opinion. Especially considering the Nine Tails is probably
when
like
Hashirama does it, it is not evolved a fair bit at that point, though. Although it is missing, I guess that's true. It's missing half of Kurama. Well, actually, more than that.
I'd say the Nine Tails accounts for at least 40% of the Ten Tails' total chakra. When Hagoromo split it up, I think it just
agree.
has like 40%.
The only problem though is the Ten Tails shouldn't have been so much stronger than the Nine Tails and Eight Tails when it like. Why did it just get way stronger when it transformed? Like that.
But then also the Ten Tails got like almost no 8 and 9 Tails' chakra, and the 8 Tails is also a pretty big portion, maybe like 20%, maybe 15%. So this is like a half.
Yeah, that's why the Ten Tails
Ten
shouldn't have been
Tails.
as strong as it was. Because it's like over half of the Ten Tails' chakra is the 9 and 8 Tails, which weren't in the Ten Tails. Why is it stronger?
Well, I think that just goes to show how much stronger it was versus Hagoromo and Hamura, which is what I'm saying, which is why Hashirama.
Yeah, I know that's what you're getting at. I'm just making a separate point.
Yeah. Also, again, I hate to say it, I don't think Hashirama was actually holding it down. I think he could have got it.
I know you're gonna say that, but like, my point is, regardless, Hagoromo and Hamura should have had an easier time. Like,
at the very least, you could argue that that Hashirama has hacks. That if Hagoromo had that same jutsu, obviously, because it's making the Ten Tails' will
should be able to do the
away.
deity gates or something similar, considering Naruto does something similar in his mind space to Kurama.
Yeah. Well,
only in his mind space. Never does it again.
Okay, so let me ask you this: assuming the deity gates didn't take away the opponent's will to fight, do you think the Ten Tails could just effortlessly break out of the deity gates ceiling?
I don't remember what else it did off the top of my head. It had another effect besides just the will, I think.
Well, it seals it.
Maybe like
seals its movement.
More, yeah.
But that's all.
I mean, the problem is the problem comes like, so with Obito, when he's the Ten Tails Jinchuriki at first, is the deity gates just missing him because he's too small? Or what? Because I mean, he got Madara, so like, but like, was Obito dodging them? Or did he just overpower it?
No, he definitely overpowered him. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Madara was actually being overpowered by him. Like, I think Madara can do whatever he wants to.
I think Madara was, but regardless, what I was going to say for Obito's case is, well, the implication in the story, at least, is that the Ten Tails was pinned down, but Obito was able to break out because he's stronger. That's why they're like, oh my god, he's way stronger. He can control his power better, blah, blah, blah. And Hashirama originally was like, well, the Gracii D gates are still at play because it worked in Ten Tails. Now it's not working, kind of thing. The Ten Tails is in control, so it's not a matter of Obito. It's still the Ten Tails. So the implication of the story is that the Ten Tails couldn't, but Obito could as the Jinchuriki.
I mean, let's keep in mind,
he's just
tandem paper bombs were destroying the deity gates. So,
It's like...
Well, the paper bombs don't have will to fight in the first place.
Well, what I'm saying is that the deity gates just don't have the greatest durability. Like they are kind of just like normal
Yeah.
gates.
The main thing is that they just, if you're pinned down by them, you don't break out. But someone
Yeah.
could break you out pretty easily.
If anything, I'd say
But-
the Rashomon gates are way stronger than the deity gates.
It would have been really interesting if we could have had, like, this sounds so goofy, but if the Rashomon gates could have just been there when Obito did, or when Tobirama did that, just so we could see.
Yeah.
Hashirama uses the 5 Rashomon gates. Isn't it anime only versus Madara? Is that when he does it?
Is it? I don't know. I mean, you're the manga guy.
It might have even been the game footage, but I think he does it in the anime to deflect a Biju bomb or something. I think is what happens. I mean, the coolest times are when Orochimaru and Sakon and Ukon do it, in my opinion. They had it the best. Why does Hashirama have the Rashomon gates? Like, that doesn't feel like a Hashirama thing. It's too devilish. Like, I know it works with your interpretation.
Yeah, I still think that.
But it doesn't work for what Kishimoto's going for.
Bro, the Foretales should not have been able to destroy all 3 Rashomon gates. It should have been able to mostly damage the first one and partially damage the second one, with the third one being untouched.
And the third one should have stopped it, yeah.
That would have been way cooler, yeah. Rather than Orochimaru just being blasted backwards like Pain was against the Six Tails. It's like, what?
Yeah, because then it's just like, it's not making the Rashomon gates look special. Like, yeah, oh, one blocked Kiba. This one's blocking 3 of them. Oh my god, it's so strong. Now the Biju Bomb is just ridiculously overpowered. It doesn't make sense later in the story when the full Nine Tails is doing Biju Bombs, and it's just not. It doesn't feel like it's strong enough. So.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I was.
It's
thinking
also
about
goofy
this.
when you. It also, here's the dumbest thing. This is absolutely insane. This is anime only, but still. 4 Tails Naruto Biju laser beam thing destroys all 3 Rashomon gates, since Orochimaru flying. 6 Tails Naruto's Biju laser beam is reflected by 1 pain rod. It just bounces it back at Naruto. So 1 pain rod is apparently stronger than the 3 Rashomon gates. No.
Well, that's a little bit unfair. It was like a smaller tail beast bomb. It's obviously not the same thing, but either
Well, it's
way.
the 6 Tails.
I don't think that makes a
Should
difference.
be
I think
stronger, if anything.
No, I think it's just the size of the Biju bomb that really matters, because I don't think you can make Biju bombs stronger or weaker.
I mean, to be fair, it didn't do the whole thingy with the purple and blue and red bubbles thing. The Urakata jutsu looking thing.
Because let's keep in
beforehand,
mind, the tailed beast bomb already is compressed. So it's not like the Rasengan where you can make a compressed version of it. It is the compressed Rasengan, technically.
Yeah, the tailed beast bomb is compressed, but
yeah.
Either way, I agree. The Rashomon gates should have stopped it.
So
go Orochimaru and your Rashomon gates.
Yeah. I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. I don't need to share my screen. I can again just copy paste this image. I'll post this in chat. So going back to the Minato manga, I was looking at this earlier today and just thinking about how ridiculous this was once again.
Oh, I know.
So this
like
cannot.
This little Rasengan.
This it's laughable. Just imagining this is actually true. Obviously, first of all, it's in the Mindscape. Second of all, Minato's literally using sealing jutsu. Third of all, Kushina's obviously wrapping around it. Fourth of all, it's not fully formed. He's still the Kurama's still like forming it. Fifth of all, Minato mental amp, if you want to argue that. Blah blah blah. Anyway,
Even still,
yeah. So
why is there the giant ball of aura around Minato similar in size to the one around Kurama, the white ball looking clash?
Yeah.
So not the tail beast bomb, but the circly white stuff around them.
Because let's just say this isn't a prototype.
Like
this is Minato's first mastered Rasengan. I think the narrative is trying to imply that anyways. But And the narrative is also sort of trying to imply that they're like at least narratively equal here, Minato and Kurama, or that Minato surpassed them. Either way, we don't know what happened after this. So like obviously the tail beast bomb should be infinitely stronger than the Rasengan. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, like, and now look, I'll give Minato his props. That Rasengan looks like a big ball Rasengan right now.
Yeah.
But like the tail beast bomb is like 20 times as big, and it's got the red chakra mixed with blue chakra benefits. Like, it should just be better.
Again, not only that, again, keep in mind that it's technically already compressed. Like, if you just have it be the size it should be, it's like Naruto's Cho Rasengan that he did against Delta, if anything. Probably bigger. Or, even better yet, it's like that one-tailed beast bomb that, like, Naruto stopped. What chapter would that be? Oh, I gotta find that, because that one's literally the biggest tailed beast bomb we see in the entire series. Even bigger than any of the 10 tails, by far. When Kushina appears.
Oh, you mean the one where the 5 tail beasts combine?
When Kushina appears.
Oh, no, Kurama's in the mind space? The one where
Yeah.
he stops when he puts the pillar on him?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, yeah. Try a chapter like 500-ish, and then you might have to go back because Kushina starts explaining the birth of Naruto story like right after. So
Yeah, it is gonna be around 500. Okay. And I will share my screen for this one. It's literally insane. But okay. It's 500. Oh, this
yeah,
is
you
the
go
back
back
side.
then. Try 499.
Yeah. It's crazy how we went from this to the
Okay,
back
yeah,
side.
this will be it.
Okay. So it's gonna be around here. First of all, just this alone, you can see the size, but this isn't the panel. Pretty sure this is the.
And in the anime, it's even bigger, I think. But like, look how big that is compared to Kurama.
I know.
No, actually, you know what? Keep this up. I'm gonna go ahead and look for when the 8 tails, or I was gonna say when the 8 tails are trying to shoot a Biju bomb in front of the 10 tails' eye, but that's not what I want. I want the reverse. I want the 10 tails making a Biju bomb near the Biju or something.
So again,
or when do
in
these
mind,
5 tail beasts make their Biju bomb?
Keeping in mind this is compressed. Oh, I have no idea. That's KCM too. But I don't even think this even makes sense for the Nine Tails to be able to do this. Like, obviously, Mindscape or whatever. But, like, this is using the Nine Tails' chakra. And the Nine Tails is making something literally bigger than it itself.
Yeah.
Like,
well, to be fair, Kisame using his chakra makes an ocean, which is definitely bigger than himself.
Kisame's different. He's using other people's chakra too. Like, plus, like, that's ninjutsu. This is just raw chakra.
Not when he's doing not when the 30% chakra clone did that.
Okay,
all him.
Whatever. Either way, it's still different because that's not raw chakra, that's ninjutsu. This is just raw chakra. And again, keep in mind, Kurama is chakra. So it still doesn't make sense. That literally makes no sense. Pretty funny though.
Okay, I want to see this. Okay.
It's like, what was Kurama's plan here anyways? Like, if he launches that and it explodes, it's just gonna take him out too.
So this is
literally
funny.
Just blows up from the inside.
Take a screenshot and post that in chat so we can look at these more easily side by side. All right, you did that. All right, I'll take a smaller screenshot of just the one part of mine real quick too then.
Okay.
I did the whole page, but I'll do this too. Because we can compare the size of each Biju to Kurama.
Well, the problem is
when we do this,
Naruto's Kurama is clearly much smaller than the real Kurama.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
mean,
It
Look at
is-
Naruto compared to that. Oh, Naruto, this Kurama got split, like, cut in half. Well, he got skinnier. He might have got, like, half as big, too, everywhere, but still.
I mean, it's very clear the Kurama avatar is smaller than the actual Kurama.
Yeah, but the Kurama avatar is the same size as the Biju. So if the Kurama avatar is smaller than the actual Kurama, then it doesn't matter. Like the point is Kurama in Naruto's mind space versus the Kurama avatar. How do those stack up?
I think the Kurama's
Well, it depends on
avatar
the
is
scene,
smaller than the
but-
other Biju.
They look like they're the same size in all the scenes they're shown.
Do you have one where they're on the same panel together? You can look through it real quick.
I'll look real quick.
Because that just doesn't make sense. Unless we're going to say these Biju are smaller because they're like Edo Tensei or that doesn't make sense.
Well, they're not Edo Tensei.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
here's one where
Well, I meant like some of the chakras in the
with
Gedomazo.
Kurama and Chome.
So it would make sense if they're smaller if some of their chakras in the Gedomazo, but I don't think it is. I think he's fighting with all of the Tailed Beast chakra. He might not be, I don't know.
That's what I say that all of it was drained for the white Zetsu and it wasn't replenished.
Actually, that sort of makes
But
sense
that's
with
the
what I was
case, the
saying
Ten
earlier.
Tails in the war.
Okay, so at the beginning of stream, I was saying I think that the Ten Tails in the Wark is able to evolve because it technically already did. Because Kaguya is like making a temporary state. I think that's the same as technically the Tailed Beasts are already sealed within the Gedomazo, so Obito can just plop them in and out whenever he wants. He doesn't have to reseal them. Yeah. I think that's very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, Chome.
Although
I don't
Madara
think
was able
count.
to just do that too. Huh?
I don't think Chome is a good representation of a size of a tailed beast, but Isobu is a little bit better, obviously.
Wait. I mean, the problem is there's another. I could have sent you this Matatabi one too, but it's like a front to back thing to where I think they look the same size, but it's like you could just argue perspective makes it unreliable anyway. That's
Okay.
I mean, I have to go through this whole thing. I don't know when we're gonna get good glimpses.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the tailed beasts do look a little bit smaller than they should here, though.
I think it's just inconsistent anyway. Like,
Do you agree? Because, like, comparatively, the size of Naruto, Guy, and I guess Kakashi, it's like,
yeah.
should it be?
And then look at Naruto versus Kurama in that mind space. Earlier, looks like an ant.
Yeah. I mean, we've compared the size of Kurama in the past, so we know how big he is.
But here's the thing: if the mind space Kurama is even bigger than the Kurama avatar in these Biju, that just makes Kurama's mind space Biju bomb even more impressive.
That's a good point.
Because that means it's even bigger than the 5 Biju combined or the 6 Biju combined there doing it. Like,
yeah.
There's not a whole lot of Biju on Biju action here. That'd be hard to find.
Okay, fair enough. I think the anime would show it a lot easier, but we'll have to do that off stream.
Yeah, and then later in the war, there might be something to look at. Oh, actually, you know what? A good place to look would be when Madara's like fighting everyone.
Yeah. Or you know what?
When he
If
like does the limbo
Naruto,
beat up on the.
if Naruto has his Kurama avatar next to the 8 Tails, I feel like he probably does that a couple times.
Probably, yeah. Real quick, I'm just gonna look at when Madara's beating up the Biju. Because they're all like side by side for that.
Yeah.
So as soon as Naruto gets the avatar out. As long as they're side by side.
Name stood out to me. What is this? Okay, let's
Here's
look up
this
ends.
at least. Now I will say in this one, the Chrome avatar does look a little bit smaller. However, its tails look really big. And as we saw in the, especially that game footage, Chroma's size is like disproportionately in his tails.
Yeah.
Like he's got the biggest tails among the Biju,
Well, but
not
Kamui,
necessarily the biggest body, maybe.
but Kamui, stop babbling around, bruh. So when the leaks
said that?
part starts,
We already did it.
well, don't tell it to me. Tell it to
It-
Akendro Jupitatus.
Well, Appendo Jupitatus.
Yeah.
We actually talked about the leaks like 3 hours ago. We should probably end stream soon. This one
Yeah.
I'm about to send Chroma actually looks, dude, it's just inconsistent because in the first one I sent Chroma looks smaller, but in this one I'm sending, I'd say Chroma looks bigger.
Comet does look about the same size. This is weird.
Especially
I think the
with his
anime
tails and
we
that
should
weird-
focus. Yeah, like compared to the 3 tails especially. What?
It does look tiny.
Like twice this. It's like the tails are bigger than the 3 tails. The 9 tails is tails.
Yeah. So interestingly, I'm noticing in this shot at least, the 9 tails, 8 tails, and the 5 tails are standing out as the biggest. Then Shukaku, then maybe the 4 tails or 3 tails. I'm not sure. The rest are smaller. So let's look at the first one again, though, the one above the I sent out right before this. Now let's see which ones look the biggest. Can you make that a little bit bigger? Okay. So again, the 5 tails looks really big. The 8 tails is kind of covered up, but he always looks big.
It's a little bit hard to tell what's
The 3
happening.
tails just doesn't look big, bro. Feels like small.
I don't even remember
Cor-
Naruto doing his tail swipe along with the tailed beast against Madara here. I thought it was just the,
Oh, really?
the like first 7 tails. Yeah.
I hope it's all of them, but
Oh, you know, I do remember. Okay, I
um,
do remember because yeah, I remember the 8 tails and 9 tails get swiped away too.
but what's interesting though with this one is you look at this one, Kurama's body looks tiny compared to like the 5 tails' body, but his tail is like huge.
I don't like Naruto and B fighting Madara here. I wish the 7 tails by themselves without a Jinchuriki got a fight together. That would be
Interesting.
nice. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I just wish Naruto used like just like B and Gaara, just the regular 9 tails. Like he does it in Naruto the Last doesn't he? Doesn't the 9 tails, like the furry 9 tails, come out to fight the golem? Or is it an avatar?
It's the it is the furry 9 tails, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wish the furry 9 tails was just Naruto used that
Yeah.
more often. At least some of the time.
By the way,
I like the furry 9 tails, bro.
By the way, is this Madara's greatest durability feat? Like, I know he lost an arm, but first
he
of
did get his
all,
arm chopped off.
well, yeah, I get that.
But yeah.
But
that's
first
all
of
he
all, I'm
lost.
pretty sure it's intentional because I'm pretty sure that's the arm that got the bullet holes in it from Shukaku, anyways. But secondly, being hit with 9 tails.
Yeah. Well, not 9 tails, actually. It's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 9 tails. It's like 45 tails or whatever.
Yeah, because how many times do they do this? This isn't just one hit. They're like flomping on him left and right. Because it makes sense. Like,
and-
did I have? Was that all the questions that I had that you answered, or did I have others? It's all in relation to Kaguya and being.
That's a question
sealed
for
and
you.
back, but I don't know. Did you have any topics that you wanted to cover at the end as well? You were saying, I thought.
No.
Okay, perfect.
I'm already an hour and a half over
Okay.
what I intended.
Yeah. That's
So
okay. Let's end.
I gotta somehow manage to the script and record it within an hour, which won't happen. So
If it makes you feel bad,
better. I wanted to do stuff too, and it's already 3 a.m. So now I don't know if I'm going to. I've got work in the morning.
Yeah.
too.
Well, I needed to do this by tonight.
Oof.
It's the only thing. But I didn't sleep at all last night because I was up until 12:30 p.m.
Yeah. Well, at least we got a lot covered. Thanks everyone so much for watching. We've been podcasters and we failed or whatever it is, and over and out. Probably the best lazy way to do that outro.
We've been podcasters and we failed or whatever it is. Okay. I need you to re-listen to what you said at the end and then write it down.